Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 235 of the Nigerian Football Weekly podcast. Me host Olu. Okay, thanks again for all the support and for joining us for the road to 20k subscribers. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Of course, we're officially now in the international break, which is very exciting. It's the first time Nigeria is going to play a game since AFCON 2025/2026. We all know what happened with Morocco and their interest in decision making, but we all know what Nigeria did in that tournament, and it's legit. So obviously excited to watch Nigeria play. Just in case anybody is not aware, Nigeria plays two friendly games, which will be taking place in Antalya in Turkey. The first game is against Iran this Friday. So Friday, the 27th of March at 3 p.m. UK time. So 4 p.m. Nigeria time, we'll be playing against Iran. I'm going to do a live watch along as usual. Fingers crossed NFF have found a way for us to actually stream the game, because we know the struggles whenever Nigeria plays friendly games. And then on 3 p.m. next week, Tuesday, which will be March 31st, we'll see Nigeria play against Jordan. Excited to look at how the games go. Both Jordan and Iran have made the World Cup, so let us not be assuming that we're playing poor opposition based on names. Iran are ranked in the top 20 of the world right now, and despite what's going on with the challenges of their nation, they're a very formidable side in Asia. In fact, one of the best, to be honest. So excited to see how Nigeria perform in those games. If we win the two games with good margins, we could easily move up to 24th in terms of world rankings. And I think that'll be very important, because we already know that we're going to see a massive drop when the World Cup comes, because so many teams are around us in ranking, and every win in the World Cup is like 3-4 times a win in a friendly game. So Nigeria is going to drop. So you want to hedge what's coming by making sure you perform as well as you can now. We know we're likely to play Portugal in a high-profile friendly in June as well, and we will likely play another one as we start our preparations towards the AFCON qualifiers, which will start in September for the big boys. I'm sure the draw will be done in August or July, just after the World Cup. But those are the terms at the moment when it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. As for the women, we know the women's AFCON will still go ahead as scheduled in the summer, now that Morocco have got to what they want. But they have a very, very simple objective towards the World Cup and going to Brazil in 2027 next summer. So a lot of exciting things happening in the world of the Super Eagles and the Super Falcons and our national teams. Obviously, we'll tackle the matters of NFF for another day, but I just wanted to say, excited that we have the international break here. Yes, we're all excited about the final few months of the Premier League season or the Champions League season, but everybody who watches this channel, you watch it because you love the Super Eagles of Nigeria, clearly, and it's something that's very exciting whenever we have moments to watch our national team. So like I said, we're playing Iran on Friday, 4 p.m. Nigeria time, 3 p.m. UK time in Antalya, Turkey, and then on Tuesday next week, on March 31st, we will be playing against Jordan at 3 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Nigeria time. Jordan, by the way, have also qualified for the World Cup, so it'll be good to see how Nigeria can perform against those teams. So speaking of Nigeria playing our first game since AFCON, I just wanted to quickly bring you guys some news. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but Nike officially released the new Super Eagles jerseys today. Just before I get into it, shout out to you, Jackson. I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for joining the live stream. Shout out to everybody for joining as well. I know we're all looking at forward to international football, but this is just to preview and review all the club football that took place over the weekend. I'm sure the Arsenal ops are ready with the League Cup, but it's just the League Cup final anyway. We keep going. But anyway, as at today, Nike have released all the jerseys for the next cycle of either the World Cup or tournaments taking place between now and the end of 2027. So both the teams taking part in the World Cup and the ones not taking part in the World Cup, everybody's had their new kits released. As everybody knows, the cycle of making kits starts about 2-3 years in advance. So we all know that these jerseys were created with the idea of Nigeria wearing them in the World Cup. You know, I think there was even a bit of a nod. I mean, it's an interesting design, which we'll get into. But I think they tried to give a nod towards our 96 kits in a way. You know, tried to give us something very, very out there and interesting and different to make sure they were able to mark the occasion. But unfortunately, Nigeria did not keep the end of the bargain. But the kits still have to be released, and drip is still going to drip regardless. It's been interesting seeing the comments on some people. Some people think it's not a nice kit. Some people love it. Some people love the home kit. Some people love the better. My brother loves the away kits, the white one. I've seen people comment about loving the green one. Jackson says you can't see the chat on YouTube. That's interesting. I can see it myself here. Have you clicked the live chat button, Jackson? It should be right there. And shout out to Aaron. Thanks for joining. He said the green jersey's fire. I totally agree. So I just wanted to show everybody the jerseys for everyone's viewing pleasure. You know, one of the things when you're doing the live streams, I'm not able to put the overlays as easily. So give me 1 second. I will show it quickly. So this is the home kit that has been released by Nike. I want you guys to see the design. Quite interesting, I must say. Me personally, I'm a big fan of it. I must say, I really like the design. It's unique, it's fresh, it's different. It's a bit out there, as Nike tried to always do for Nigeria. So I don't have any complaints to the way the kit looks, you know. One thing to remember is when you see numbers added to the kit and names at the back, it gives it a much more different feel. So imagine what that will look like, and we'll see when they debut the kits against Iran and Jordan, what that looks like in theory, you know, when we're able to actually see the kit. But it's just a shame we can't see Osimhen or Lookman score goals in the World Cup in this kit. But it is what it is. One thing that I like to highlight, and I want you guys to know, because you people know I always say this thing, the kit has been released for Nigerians. Yet there's nowhere in Nigeria a Nigerian can purchase this kit right now. In terms of the kit launches, we have not seen anything for Nigeria. Maybe they said we should not do anything because we didn't make the World Cup. But at the very least, you should find a way to still launch your kit and make sure that the citizens of the country can wear the kits. We already know that the average Nigerian, I mean, it's even priced at £90 in the UK. How much is £90 in Naira? 2,000 to £1. Almost 200,000 Naira. Come on. Like, how are we going to flood the country green? So these are my grips with the NFF again, and whoever these Azame now. What are they talking to their biggest sponsor about? Your kit deal is the largest sponsorship deal you're going to get. What are you doing with it? Apart from just saying, Nike, give us kits. Then you go and check the Twitter handle. All they did is just post the kits. There's no link. There's no drip. There's no indication about what the kit means to Nigerians. In fact, unless you go on the Nike website, that's where you even see a little bit of some kind of cultural exchange. They say this kit represents elegance under fire. Nigeria mastered the moment with unstoppable energy. Even the goalkeeper kit looks like the old kit from Nigerians. But yet again, what have you done to amplify your biggest sponsorship deal? You know, yes, like Jackson said, Nigerians be able to get the ABBA version. Of course, we know that. But what are they going to do about getting things to the legitimate sources? If the NFF can't make money through Nike or even show a semblance of being able to grow e-commerce within Nigeria or the rest of the world, then what are we doing? You know? So these are all the little things that all affect the way we all see our national team and things. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that England, France, Netherlands, Norway, USA, they all had bespoke deals and bespoke launches for their kits. But these are the consequences when you don't make the World Cup. All of a sudden, Nike have to revise the amount of units they expect to sell. Their activations are a lot less done because the AFCON has finished and you're not going to the World Cup. Mind you, we were the only country in Africa that Nike sponsor. Can you imagine how disappointed they are? Have you seen those Adidas South Africa kits and Algeria kits? Hey, God. Nike must be thinking to themselves, now we fuck up. Who told us to go and put all our eggs in the Nigeria basket? Now they don't even have any kit going to the World Cup from all the potential 10 representatives going from Africa. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame, shame. And watch those as Ameno. Nobody has come out to say anything, but it is what it is. So we'll keep lamenting. I'll still do my best to buy the kit myself. It's not yet reached the point where Nike will send me PR boxes of the jerseys, but hopefully one day we'll get there as the podcast continues to grow. So much love. Very quickly, I want to show you guys the away kit as well. The away, me personally, I prefer the home kit, I must say. But I know some people like the away kits themselves. So let's see what that away kit looks like quickly. So here you go, guys. It's an interesting one, you know, like green fire designs. I don't know if it's like the fire and the fight of Nigerians to keep adjusting, no matter the struggles, no matter what's going on. The fire keeps burning within football, no matter how bad the country gets, or all these things. I don't know if that's Nike's interpretation, but I'm not gonna lie, I like it. Like I said, imagine this when they add a number 9 in a black font, and then you get the numbers on their kits. But the thing again, guys, as I've told you in the past, No Nigerian international is going to have their names on the back of these kits until the 2027 AFCON. So they've released these kits in March 2026. Not one of them will have their name, Osimhen 9, on the back until next year's AFCON. That's how mediocre our federation is. We all know that. You know that. In Nike Town here in London, you cannot get Iwobi or Osimhen put on the back of the kits because NFF did not even take the time to say, please, Nike, if you're going to release our kits, can you make sure that you have the fonts and the numbers in the Nigeria fonts so that people can buy our flagship players on the back of the kits? You all know it did not happen. So watch the next friendly match. There will be no names on the back of the kits. Watch the June friendlies. There will be no names on the back of the kits. Watch the qualifiers in September, October, and November. There will be no names on the back of the kits. But guess what? No England player, no French player, even a Norwegian player will ever wear a kit without their name being on the back of the kits. Somebody will tell me in the comments that, Olu, why are you crying over nothing? It's not a big deal. But trust me, it is. The value of a jersey matters far more if there's a player's number on the back. Even trying to show them what it means to play for Nigeria. What do you mean you could not even do due diligence and get them their names on the back of their kits? When they play for their clubs, they have their names on the back of the kits always. People keep saying, oh, Lu, you talk about these things sometimes, but I will never stop talking about it. It pisses me off so much. Yes, okay, thank God, like Jackson said, the women's team will wear it in the women's AFCON. Thank God at least the tournament, so they'll be forced to put their names on the back. But even the women, can you get a Michelle Alozie jersey? But guess what? In England, if I go to Nike Town and I want to get Alicia Russo on the back of the kit, I could get it straight away. So let's keep doing ourselves. But anyway, very exciting when there's a new kit released. I'm sure Nike are extremely, extremely underwhelmed with the Super Eagles. You know, this is literally what? The 4th World Cup cycle since they've been kitting Nigeria. No, in fact, 3. 2014, we were still under Adidas. I remember wearing Adidas in Australia. 2018, 2022, 2026, since we re-signed with Nike. 2018, we broke all the records in the world with that kit that was the most famous kit in the whole world. And since then, Nike have not even been able to sniff anywhere near their return on investment because the NFF and the Super Eagles keep failing to make it to the big stages or play high-profile games. Even this one that we're playing, Iran and Jordan, that I'm still excited to watch. Have you seen the kind of opposition our mates are playing? Have you seen who Senegal are playing in their friendly games? Have you seen who Morocco are playing in their friendly games? Let's keep looking. Nigeria. I don't even know where to start with those guys, man, but it is what it is. But anyway, those are the kids. Shout out to Irene Emmanuel. It says, I love the sharp edge, drop down green wave line, more like Green Lantern superhero outfit. I love that comment, Irene. Sounds like you must work in marketing with the way you give that piece of advice. I love it. Aaron said in Nigeria, it's 160k naira. How much minimum wage? Can you imagine? Someone will now tell you that how much are they paying in England? In England, there's nobody, there's no kids that is double the amount of minimum wage per month. It's not possible. But let's keep looking anyway. Shout out to the About Boys. Let's see what he can do. I already said, as a man won't bother to get money from kit launching because they already had a lot of money to eat from the government. My brother, I mean, if that's not the facts, I don't know what is, man. Aaron said, honestly, I wish that kit was just white with the fire. I know what you mean. But me, I like to also wait till we see them wear the kits in games before I judge. Because there'll be some Nigeria kits that I wasn't sure I'd like. And then I saw them and I was like, oh, that's a bit of me. But yeah. Nike, if you watch this, please send me a box. I don't mind. In fact, send us one. Let me give away for the community, please. You know, shout out to us. In fact, I'm going to reach out to one of my friends I know at Nike. Now that I just remembered, let me write it down. Let's see what they can do since they want to spread the love, right? Anyway, Jackson says NFF president and all should resign 10 slots from Africa to play in the World Cup, but we cannot qualify. My brother, it's an absolute disgrace. Let's be honest. Irene said the away kit will fit the ladies more. Probably. Let's see how we'll figure it out. And I love Jack's comments. At least the women's team can use it. Shout out to you, Charles, for joining. I thought we'll start a bit earlier because it's international break. There's no need to keep everybody waiting too long. Shout out to you. Charles says, Olu, I'm just devastated. Please, can we push for a fair electoral practices? My brother, honestly, I hope we can have some influence in that. In fact, is there a way we can hold their necks to make sure this whole NFF election cycle is as transparent as possible to the public? In fact, I want Nigeria to change so much. I won't lie to you guys. I spent 2 hours last week asking Claude how an actual international Football Federation works. Like, what are the actual things they're supposed to do? What are the ways they're supposed to grow revenue? What are the ways they're supposed to like just improve as a federation? What are the things they're answerable to? But obviously, we know that before that document will get in the front of anybody in NFF, or if they'll even have any willingness to make any change, it's probably slim to none. I'm sure there have been well-intentioned people at NFF rankings or people who've tried to bring things. I spoke to someone in December in Nigeria who said he tried to propose something about producing the MPFL. All the other men do not care, which is why it is extremely gaslighting when they cannot even pay the procedural fee for a so-called petition that they filed against DR Congo, which I knew they were wasting everybody's time. These guys just do not care about good standards. That's just the way it is, guys. So maybe one day we'll be able to figure things out, but I'm telling you, for now, we'll keep doing the media route and trying to make sure our voices are heard, and we continue to apply pressure so that people are aware of the importance of what the Super Eagles mean to Nigerians. And we can actually call for like some kind of transparency one day that can actually work, you know, because enough is enough. Honestly, we have to. We have to. Shout out to you, Charles. Oh my God, I just want to say a big thank you for the super chat. God bless you very much, brother. As you blessed me, may your cup never run dry. May you continue to be blessed. May all you desire, including Nigerian football being saved, come to pass in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I have prayed. Amen. Thank you so much, Charles. I appreciate it. I totally agree. It's such a shame with 10 slots from Africa that we could not make it. Jackson said, did they do a product launch for the kit at least? Let us see how it looks on the players. Bro, they didn't do no product launch, no nothing. They just literally released it on the Nike website and said the kits are out. Obviously, if we made the World Cup, we know that there would have been a much bigger activation. I'm sure you remember the 2018 World Cup where they got Whiskey, the Wobie, and Achora and Co to model the kit, you know. But that one was just a one-of-one. Like, I've never seen a kit be in such demand in my life. In fact, I would argue the Nigeria 2018 World Cup kit has been the most transformational jersey in the history of kit design. Because since 2018, we've seen a lot more bold expressions of kits, especially away kits and third kits, whether it's club sides or international football. And you have to say that when you look at how important that Nike kit was in 2018. You know, I've had a friend go to a museum in the UK last week and they had the 2018 World Cup kit literally in exhibition, being exhibited. If England are exhibiting the kits, tell me what NFF are doing. But let's keep looking, man. We're all wasting. I hate to say it, but it feels like they're wasting our time, which is so annoying. But it is what it is. Charles says, Kai, I can't even sleep. I cannot enjoy 2022 World Cup and now 2026 World Cup. My brother, if there's one advice I have for you, my bro, even though I love the World Cup and I want to see Nigeria play, there is no World Cup in the history of World Cups I've ever not enjoyed because Nigeria was not there. Of course, Nigeria being there makes it 10 times more interesting. Like, you get to watch your own country. The emotions are like nothing else you can feel for any other country, you know. And that hope and that desire and bringing everybody together is like nothing I've ever experienced compared to like a World Cup, you know. So it's a big, big shame. But guess what? Still no consequence for bad behavior. Nigeria is going to have at least a 12-year break between World Cups, and we've seen no consequence for anybody in power. But my brother, get excited about the World Cup. With or without Nigeria, we have to enjoy it. In fact, all of us in Europe and America, the time difference and time zone makes it perfect to watch the games all through the evening and all through the night. Football every day. And it's the biggest World Cup ever. So most of the African countries, they're going to even make it out of the round, out of the group stages and into the round 32. So Nigeria, NFF, keep wasting our time telling us about petition. Keep being useless, and the chicken will continue to come home to roost. It's just a shame that FIFA keeps protecting these people because they say you cannot have government interference. All we need is one president that cares about football. Everything will change in Nigeria. I'm telling you. But of course, we know the person that cares about Super Eagles and the fact that nobody, there's not enough political will to get the man in charge. So it is what it is. Charles says, I said that because of extremely talented players, we could have gone through round of 16. Bro, I have no doubt if Nigeria, this current Eric Shell Nigeria, as we are like this, we could have made the World Cup quarterfinals. I have no doubt in my mind, especially if Osimhen and Lookman can stay fit. No doubts. But let's stop crying over spilled milk. DR Congo, good luck to you. Do what you have to do. And Nigeria, better luck next time. Keep playing with your football and your country. We must all feel that secondhand embarrassment and FOMO when the World Cup is going on, because that's the only way change ever comes when it comes to Nigeria. I don't know if it's embarrassment or just a deep pain that people need to feel before things shake out. But honestly, it is what it is. All right. Anyway, Congrats to Nike for a new kit launch. I'm sure they'll still sell quite a lot of jerseys. I will still buy the kit regardless because we have to still buy the kits, you know. Nobody sent me to do Nigeria Football Weekly. We have to always support. So that is that. Okay, moving on, standout performers of the week, guys. I mean, this weekend was a very good week for Nigerian footballers, must be said. Yes, I already did the preview episode we dropped on Friday, where we know that Ademola Lookman is the only Nigerian player left in the Champions League. But we still had a fairly good weekend for most of our players. Starting with Ademola Lookman himself, he played in his first Madrid derby last night for Atletico Madrid, and he actually opened the scoring in the game. I mean, this is a player now that scored, I think he scored his 5th goal for Atletico Madrid yesterday. I mean, he's already developed a very telepathic relationship with Giuliano Simeone. I mean, for his goal, he took the ball past Giuliano Simeone. Giuliano Simeone was able to find him back in the box, slot it to him, and he just slotted the ball straight into the net to make it 1-0. You have to say that Atletico Madrid are a bit like Chelsea when they play Arsenal. No matter how good it feels like they're going to perform, they're still going to lose the game. And yet again, Atletico Madrid shot themselves in the foot. I don't know what the defender was thinking tackling Brahim Diaz like that just before halftime. Next thing you know, it was 1-1. Valverde was still able to come in and score yet again. The kind of form he's been on in the past 2 weeks is really ridiculous. 2-1. We then even saw Miguel Molina come into the match and score his second fantastic banger of a strike in 2 weeks for Atletico Madrid to make it 2-2. But yet they couldn't hold their nerve. And Vinicius Jr. was there to score a fantastic winner to make it 3-2, and Real Madrid remain in the title race with Barcelona. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, it now means that they're pretty much stuck in purgatory. They will definitely finish 3rd or 4th in La Liga. They can't really go lower. At the moment, they are 1 point behind Villarreal, who won over the weekend. But Atletico Madrid have a 13-point lead over 5th place Real Betis, you know, and they have only 9 games to go. So even if Atletico Madrid really drop, mind you, this was their first loss. They won their previous 4 games in La Liga. You have to say that Atletico Madrid's chances of dropping out of the Champions League spots are slim to none. The good news for them is they've got a Copa del Rey final to play, and they also have a Champions League quarterfinal against Barcelona. So left to me, I could see them being able to focus a bit more on the Champions League and the Copa del Rey while they just slide through in La Liga, let's put it that way. So shout out to you, Ademola Lookman. I mean, that was his 2nd goal in La Liga as well. But I really, really love the way he's settling into that club and playing a lot of games and has already become a very important player in 2 months. I think if I think about impact of signings in the whole of Europe, there's only 2 players there's only 1 player I could say has impacted his team more, and that's Semenyo. I mean, do you see what he did for Arsenal? Oh my, what he did to Arsenal yesterday. It's so annoying because this guy's an Arsenal fan. I look how he's breaking our hearts. But apart from that, I think Lookman I would put number 2. I'm sure there's someone I'm forgetting that I'm not thinking about. But we have to give Lookman his props for how amazing he was over the weekend. Also, this one really warmed my heart in terms of standout performers. Taiwo Awoniyi. Oh my God. Do you see everything Taiwo Awoniyi has been through in his career? Obviously, we know he's at Liverpool because of work permits. He couldn't get into the team. He kept being sent on loans. He ended up going to Union Berlin, where he finally stabilized in 2-3 years. Had a very good season where he scored almost 15 Bundesliga goals. Ended up being signed up by Nottingham Forest. Goes Nottingham Forest, has a very good first season, but then he's really struggled with injuries and Chris Wood's form. And then to the point where we all know what happened to him last season, where he even had to have surgery and really recover after having that freak accident on the pitch. And for him to now come back when you've seen Nottingham Forest sign over 2 strikers, yeah, Chris Wood has been non-existent this season. There's Igor Jesus. They signed Kalimuendo. He's already been binned off in January. Taiwo Awoniyi looked like every indication meant he was slipping down the pecking order. But when you say someone has resilience and fight and can really fight for his career, and I love how much he talks about his faith and how it's all about God helping him and figuring things out to him. And honestly, the joy in my heart watching Taiwo Awoniyi score his 2nd Premier League goal of the season. Mind you, he's only played in 12 games this season. We know when he scored a few weeks ago, which was amazing to see. But this felt like a big, big moment for Taiwo Awoniyi. Someone that's loved by all his teammates in a crunch relegation 6-pointer game against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, by the way. Vitor Pereira was still looking for his first win in the Premier League as Nottingham Forest manager. And to come in there and to beat Tottenham 3-0. Not even beat, they absolutely battered them. Like when you look at the goals, Igor Jesus' header from the corner, what was the defending by Tottenham? Look at Gibbs White scoring. I mean, I had to laugh because they tried to sign Gibbs White in the summer. Callum Hudson-Odoi was allowed to run through the entire 6-yard box and still find Gibbs White to square the ball. And he had a very easy finish to make it 2-0. But when you see that third goal by Taiwo Awoniyi, classic center-forward play, literally holding off his defender, his marker, in such a way to show off his strength, and then receives an absolutely sexy cross from Nico Williams, who literally puts it on a plate for Taiwo. And all he has to do is just smash the ball with his right foot straight into the back of the net to make it 3-0. Game over, 87th minute. Just end the tie. And then you see the joy in everyone's faces and how happy they are for Taiwo Awoniyi when he scored. I have to say it's been an absolutely amazing weekend for Taiwo Awoniyi, and I love his resilience. This is a player that's already 28 and is going to be 29 this year, so he may or may not ever play for the Super Eagles again, but my word, he's doing a great job of elongating his career. This is a player that I still believe has a lot to give somewhere. I'm not sure if he can necessarily be a starting striker in a Premier League team, but within the top 5 leagues or the Onuachu angle, within the top 3-4 leagues that also exist, I'm sure he could figure something out to really, prolong his career for the next 3-4 years. But Taiwo Awoniyi, I was so happy to see you score that goal. And what it means is Nottingham Forest are now up to 16th in the table, and you have to say that it's looking pretty good for them to remain in the Premier League, which is a fantastic achievement. We do not want Nigerian players getting relegated. That's the honest truth. And honestly, I'm very grateful that is looking like it will not be the case. So Nottingham Forest, up you guys and keep flourishing and shining. And please, Nottingham Forest, make sure Tottenham go down. West Ham as well. You have one job. Let's make it happen. Another standout performer this week that I want to praise is Philip Otele. The freshly called up Super Eagle International has finally scored his first goal in the Bundesliga for Hamburg. Somebody was criticizing our statement because we called it hamburger on Twitter. Guys, are you not aware that in German, Hamburg's actual name is Hamburger SV? So it's actually FC Hamburger. But we call them Hamburg because it's based on the place called Hamburg, which is a great city I've heard in Germany, But please don't correct us for saying things that are right, But Philip Otele opened the scoring yesterday as Hamburg were this close to getting a sensational win against Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park in the Bundesliga. Obviously, Hamburg have been very impressive in their first Bundesliga season in almost 10 years, and like I've said, they're one of the traditional giants of German football. Think of them as like a Leeds United, for example, or like Villa when they were having bad spells getting relegated. Hamburg have won a European title. There's only 3 or 4 teams in the entire German league that have won a European Cup, and Hamburg are one of them. They literally had Kevin Keegan win a Ballon d'Or while playing for Hamburg in the late 80s. That's how important that club is. But see them flying high and being 11th, and then starting the game, they had a fantastic counter-attack. Otele made a fantastic run from the left wing, and it was literally 2 versus 2. And his teammate found him the sumptuous ball, literally right in the middle of the post. And all he had to do was use his left foot to tap the ball into the net to make it 1-0. We then saw former Arsenal player, I don't know if you guys remember, Albert Lokonga. Lokonga then made it 2-0 before halftime. And Hamburg were on the verge of an absolutely surprise smash and grab result. But 20 minutes to go, they completely lost their heads. They conceded 2 penalties. And Remy Bentabani, the Algerian centre-back, scored 2 of his penalties. And we also saw a calamitous equalizer to make it 2-2 initially. So literally 20 minutes to go, they were winning 2-0. And they somehow lost the game by 3-2. So that was really upsetting. But I must say that him as a performer, he had an absolutely sensational performance this weekend, and long may it continue. Now, sticking with the Bundesliga, another player that I'm sure Nigerians are keen to see who had a fantastic weekend this week was left-back Felix Agu. Yes, we know he has only 3 caps for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and missed the AFCON due to injury. You can also argue right now with the form of Onyemechi for the Super Eagles and the fact that Zedu Sanusi is probably having his 2nd or 3rd best ever spell as a Porto starting left-back. They're on verge of winning the Portuguese title again that they lost to Sporting. It will literally be Zedu Sanusi's 3rd or 2nd or 3rd league title of his career. They'll go back to the Champions League. Sanusi will play in the Champions League next year. I think sometimes we disrespect Sanusi because we judge him based on Super Eagles performance. Sanusi's career, based on what he's achieved and what he's done, is better than 98% of all Nigerian players currently active. Trust me. So when you look at the pecking order, especially with how amazing Onyemechi was at AFCON, looking like a young Marcelo, you have to say that Felix Agu has a fight to break back into the Super Eagles squad. But this is what we want, competition. Let's be like England, where there's 3, 4, 5 players for each position. And my word, did Felix Agu make a fantastic return to form this weekend. Mind you, Werder Bremen know that they're in relegation danger, and they're playing Wolfsburg, who are the home side. Wolfsburg, for some reason, have absolutely capitulated, and they're currently 17th out of 18 teams in the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg were hosting the game at home, and Werder Bremen found themselves in 15th position going into the game, and only 1 point off the relegation zone. And they found a way to beat Wolfsburg away. And what even made this even sweeter was the assist for this goal. Number 10 in Werder Bremen is Leon Bittencourt. He used to be like a highly regarded youngster. He got the ball, and I don't know who sent Felix Agu to make an absolutely fantastic overlapping run to the center of the penalty box. It literally, as he was playing as number 9. Bittencourt found the ball to Felix Agu. Felix Agu touched the ball with his left foot, and with one curve, turned right, and then passed the ball to fellow eligible player for Nigeria, Justin Njimna, who's not good enough. But respect to Justin Njimna today. Justin Njimna grabbed the ball with his left foot and passed a sumptuous finish with his left foot straight into the bottom corner, and he hit the post and entered the net. And that was how Werder Bremen found themselves 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go in a relegation 6-pointer. If you see the joy on their faces after the final whistle was blown, Felix Agu and Justin Njimna, they could not contain their joy. So for Felix Agu to come off the bench, get an assist in what was an absolutely crucial win for Werder Bremen that pushed them further away from relegation zone and to 14th place in the league. I thought it was a fantastic, fantastic achievement to keep an away clean sheet in such a huge, huge game. So Felix Agu, welcome back from injury, welcome back to form, and we hope you can get back at starting lineup. And Justin Njimna, yes, right now I don't think you're good enough, but keep doing your thing and keep shining. And eventually, if your time comes, we will see you in the Super Eagles, but I highly doubt it. But well done. So that was it in terms of the Bundesliga. Now, the good news as we go into watching Nigeria football on Friday is that we already know who the starting goalkeeper will be for these two fixtures. Maduka Okoye. Yes, we're aware about the issues prior to AFCON about him asking for guarantees and stuff like that. But make no mistake about it, this is a player who the last time he played for Nigeria in the Russia friendly last year was absolutely exceptional and played fantastically well. Now he has another chance to get another 2 caps and to reestablish himself back in the Super Eagles squad. And we also know that if we take away our blinkers or our blinders or anything that's worrying us about his performances or people judging him based on how he performed against Tunisia from 4.5 years ago, Maduka Okoye is a starting goalkeeper in Syria and keeping clean sheets on a steady basis for Udinese in Serie A. We need to realize how few goalkeepers we even have who are even African internationals, talk less of Nigerian, playing in any of the top 5 leagues. I think there's a handful in League One for sure. I'm sure with the Ivorians and co. I know one plays for Angers, but all them, Yasin Bono, Edouard Mendy, they're all in the Saudi League right now for a reason. My point is Maduka Okoye is performing very well. And yet again over the weekend, he proved his credentials as Udinese got a smash and grab 2-0 win over Genoa on Friday night to win away from home, by the way. This was one of those games that if you're the Genoa manager or you're a Genoa fan, you would believe that you're cursed. There's no reason Genoa should have lost this game. And I'm telling you this, guys, because Udinese had 5 shots in the entire match, 2 shots on target in the entire match, while their host Genoa had 19 shots on target. Genoa were incredible in this game, but somehow they only had 3 shots on target. In fact, it was so unlucky at one point. I was watching the highlights. They hit the post twice. There was one time they should have scored when the ball just rolled past the front of the net. Like, one was a VAR decision. They should have got a penalty, but it got rescinded. And then Maduka, one of his 3 saves was one of them absolutely exceptional saves where the ball hits the post, but he gets his slight fingertips to the ball as the ball is smashed straight to the crossbar. And you can see him like celebrating that he got the save. But honestly, like, Udinese have to count their stars lucky. But it was a fantastic game for Udinese fan. 6 minutes, they opened the scoring, smash and grab, and then they scored a second dagger in stoppage time to Kenan Davis, who used to play for Aston Villa back in the day. Mind you, Kenan Davis, I think, has like 10 goals in Serie A, which is crazy to think. You should better go and play for Jamaica or whatever Caribbean nation is eligible for. But shout out to Maduka Okoye, really good omens, keeping a clean sheet. And we know he's been playing very, very well over the past month as he heads off to Turkey to represent Super Eagles again. I think Maduka is also very good at doing PR. I don't know if you guys saw the video from 2 weeks ago, over the past week, where he's saying he always knew to play for Nigeria and he knows how to do PR so that everybody can forgive his transgressions. So let's see what happens in terms of Maduka Okoye. Just before I get to the comments, let me just go to 2 other players who lost but had good performances for their clubs. One was Chidozie Awaziem for Nantes, even though Nantes look like they're heading straight to relegation because they lost by 3-2 to Strasbourg, who scored with the last-minute winner. Nantes were absolutely distraught. But Awaziem did get an assist in this 3-2 loss. It's not a regular occurrence to see a centre-back get an assist. So shout out to Awaziem for at least putting up a good fight for his team. But honestly, it looks like they will be going to League 2 sooner rather than later, I must say. And then also, since I spoke about Felix Agu and the left-back pipeline, I want you guys to also know about this left-back I've been bringing on the channel recently. His name is Isaac James. He plays for Alverca in the Portuguese league. They're currently 11th in the league, so firmly mid-table. He has been starting games for them all season. And yesterday, he actually got an assist for Alverca. Yes, they played Sporting Lisbon at home and they got absolutely thrashed by 4-1. But what I liked when I watched the goal Alverca scored was his overlapping potential. Isaac James played a very, very good attacking move where he was able to carry the ball himself straight into Sporting Lisbon's penalty box and then pass the ball to his number 9, who was able to finish the ball to make it 3-1 on the night. But I just want to mention that when you have a player who's 20 years old and already starts in the Portuguese league, Zedu Sanusi did not start games in the Portuguese league till he was 22, 23, 24, at least based on official age. So this is one to monitor, and by God's grace, we'll see him continue to play well. I also know he's a very nice person. He's reached out to us in the chat before. So let's see what happens in terms of his performances going forward. So that's it in terms of the stand-up performance for Nigerian players. Let me quickly go through the comments before I finish with the Starboy of the week. A few comments here. Where do I start? Oh, I've been talking for a minute. Jackson says government interference used to help us back then. Exactly. If you watch Super Eagles 96 documentary, you can see how government interference from Abacha helped us in the 90s because Westerhoff was able to bypass all the corrupt NFF officials instead of coming out to explain, just as Jackson said. But unfortunately, we're not there at the moment. Jackson also spoke about Otele and his clips. I think we should not get too excited yet. He's only playing a top 5 league for the first time while he's 26 years old. Let's see how he develops and how he gets on. I don't want anyone to get carried away. He's only scored his first Bundesliga goal. But he's settling in well at Hamburg, and let's see how he continues to perform. I think someone like him, we have to give him the whole of next season to see how he performs. But if he takes his chance playing for the Super Eagles, I can see a world where he replaces Chidozie Awaziem, because Chidozie Awaziem, I'll be honest, is very lucky to still be in the squad based on his performances and his bench appearances all the time for Sevilla, if I'm being brutally honest. So let's see how that goes. Aaron says, love how Lookman is performing. Honestly, fantastic scenes. Irene Emmanuel says, Olu, there's something I noticed about your platform. You give special attention to your audience comments one after the other. This is golden. It makes us feel special and part of your community. Bro, you guys are the reason why I'm no longer on 1,000 subscribers compared to almost 12,000. If you don't, it's all about the community. Nobody should ever deceive themselves that you're that charismatic or you speak so well or you know the knowledge. Yes, it helps that we do our research and I'm very passionate and we figure the information out and we really try and bring you a good show. But I never deceive myself that people are coming to watch me because I'm Oloke. Like, you're here to watch Nigerian football and hear about Nigerian football and club sides and just good football content. So how can we ever take the community for granted? Not on my watch. You guys you're on the way to changing my life through this podcast in a way. Yes, I still have a day job and I have to live like a normal individual and find the balance in my time and stuff. But I take it for granted. I never take it for granted. Yes, Nigeria, if we went to the World Cup, who knows where we could be by this summer. But we have to live with the consequences of branding a channel Nigeria Football Weekly, which I'm happy to do so. If I wanted to just talk about Arsenal, I could have done that. So I never take it for granted, and the community means the world to me, man. Yes, obviously, with Nigeria, it's been a slower period over the past 3 months, but we know once Nigeria play again, things will shoot up as well. And there always has to be content for everybody. I'm trying to make sure everybody is aware of my football knowledge and how I watch all the football, as you can probably tell. But how can we still keep Nigeria as the base, but still make sure we're bringing content to all the interests of this wide church of the community? So thank you so much for that comment. That means a lot to me, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Aaron said it is actually crazy to see Spurs only 1 point from relegation. Bro, it's so crazy. But honestly, I have no sympathy for Tottenham. When we saw what they did last year, 2 years ago, when they were celebrating losing to Man City at home to prevent Arsenal from winning the Premier League, when they still had a chance of getting a Champions League space over Aston Villa, that's when I knew that that club was cursed. Whether you like to know, there's a way your club will perform that you have to become cursed because you're clearly not thinking straight. Then, of all the CEOs in football to hire, Tottenham decided to hire the ex-Arsenal CEO, Vinay Vintakushan. Even just for PR reasons, even if he's good at his job, are you telling me he's the only CEO in the world? Tottenham are a banter club, and honestly, they deserve what they're getting. They thought that Europa League win last year will mask the fact that they finished 16th in the Premier League. But thank God they sacked Ange. They thought they were better than Ange Postecoglou. Now he's laughing at them, and we're crying, and we're laughing at them too. Because how many managers they hired? They have no plan, no purpose. They make mediocre signings. And when you even look at their club or anything, you cannot see where they're going. And honestly, I love the fact that when you look at their fixtures, they just may be going down for real, for real. And I think it'll be a great lesson so that next time they come back, they'll realize what it means to actually perform like a decent club. So let's see. Aaron, thanks for that comment. And Aaron, I want to say a big thank you for the super chat. Hey, show the super chat. God bless you so much, Aaron. You're one of our best community members. You always watch, you always comment, you always give us your time, and you're always very knowledgeable. I want to say a big thank you to you for everything, bro. And please, as you've blessed me, may God continue to bless you for the super chat. God bless you and always increase you and all you desire for this year and beyond in Jesus' name. Honestly, Jackson, Spurs are going down. I totally agree. West Ham need to just fix up. And I think they will. The good news is West Ham's next match is Wolverhampton at home. So if there's a game that they should be winning, you would like to think that that would be the game that they will be winning. So let's see what going. Afriyu said, any news about our 2029 Nations League and Nigeria preparations? My brother, with all the fire on the mountain in CAF, let's just pause that Nations League talk for now. In my opinion, I can't see Patrick Mosepe remaining CAF president for longer than a few months or at least a year. He has destroyed the credibility of CAF. In everything he has done, he has not been speaking to his ex-co members. Shout out to the Guardian journalist Osasu Obayawana because he knows all the contacts and he speaks to the right people. If you go on his Twitter, see all the comments he's dropping about speaking to ex-co members of the record and how ashamed and disgraced they all feel about CAF and African football right now. There is no way Motsepe is going to be able to move with these stupid reforms. You want to make a regional nations league so South Africa will be playing Zimbabwe and Zambia and be feeling themselves. Then West Africa will now be fighting battles. Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Mali. Even Cameroon will come and join us. North Africans to be fighting for their lives. Then Kenya will now be playing Tanzania. They will feel like they're the kings of East Africa. He must be mad. Honestly, bro, no preparations about that. Let them go and face their front and figure things out. I'm telling you. Hey, shout out to you, Victor Chukwemeka Ugu. Hey, thank you for this comment. He said, guys, please like the content to Biko Ejo. Thank you so much. Please. Thank you. That'll even give me a nice moment to check how many likes we've got. At the moment, how are we looking? I'm getting through the comments, guys. Give me 1 second. Internet now. This is not the time. Okay, we have 20 likes. Guys, there's almost 46 of you. So 26 people need to please like the video. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Please listen to Victor. Thank you for that, Victor. Emmanuel Arinde says, Ademola is a lucky bargain. Got him for lesser than his real market value. I have to agree. I think Guys, for once, I can't blame Nigeria or internet. I'm so sorry about that, guys. It was my laptop. It just literally shut on me. Yeah, that's my normal YouTube account I was trying to use. Forgive me. Where was I? I was going through comments before Starboy of the week. Um, Sorry about that, guys. I know we've lost about 20 people on. My bad. I will try and service my laptop so that doesn't happen again. I was speaking about Emmanuel's comment about Lookman being a bargain. I totally agree. I think I can't believe what people were able to get Lookman for. And it's because of this whole English perception, playing in Syria, playing in outside of the English vantage point. Because I've been telling people about Lookman's performances for a long time. But here we are. It's only now we're now seeing the benefits, you know. So shout out to Lookman and long may the good performances continue. Honestly, what a guy. Also, Aaron says Okoye should be playing for a bigger team. I can see my Inter Milan. Interesting. Let's see what happens in the summer. We know that summer may leave, ironically. Yeah, summer of Inter Milan may leave in the summer. So we'll see what happens and how he gets on. But I agree. The way he's really performing at Udinese, you know, if he can even give them one more season and he's still young enough that he's going to continue growing as goalkeeper. So long may it continue. Afriyu said, imagine if Nigeria has Ghana in our group in AFCON qualifiers. And when was the last time we beat Ghana in a match? That's a great question. We don't play Ghana that often. I think prior to the World Cup qualifiers, we had not played them since a friendly in 2012, to be honest. The chances of Ghana being in our group is possible, but also not possible. I'm pretty sure that based on the way AFCON is, because there's 24 teams and there will be 3 automatic qualifiers, we will have a situation where there will be 21 qualifying spots. So even if we look at it from a perspective, I'm pretty sure CAF will do their best to make sure there's as many groups as possible so the best teams can qualify directly. So I can see them doing something like, say, there's 12 groups, the best 12 teams qualify. Why am I even doing this? Like, I cannot Google the AFCON qualifiers and see if they already have the structure. Just so you know, right now they're playing the pre-AFCON qualifiers. So all the lesser teams in Africa, the bottom 10 teams, bottom 12 teams, they're playing the preliminary round of playoffs this March. So Lesotho, Burundi, Ethiopia, Eswatini, South Sudan, Mauritius, Chad, Sao Tome, Djibouti, Somalia, Seychelles, Eritrea. Thank you for putting this question. It's reminded me of something. Lesotho are one of the teams participating in the preliminary round. That's how useless they are. And guess what? Pesero drew against Lesotho. Guys, yes. How disgraceful. So let's know. Anyway, the group stages will start from there'll be match day 6, team 1 versus team 2. I know there'll be 4 groups. My brain feels there may be 12 groups. It's hard to say right now. Because there'll be 42 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 42 plus another 6, 48. 48 divided by 4, 12. Okay, I was right. So there'll be 12 groups. So the best 12 teams in Africa. Oh my God, Ghana are not one of them. Oh. Ghana are 14th in Africa. Damn. You're right. So Ghana may end up being in someone's AFCON group. But based on that, I can see them taking the best 12 teams and then the 3 group stage hosts. So that's 15. Then another 9. Then maybe they'll say the 9 best second place teams will qualify or something like that. But I would like to believe that even with the NFF incompetence, we cannot have any risk of missing out on AFCON. That would be an absolute disgrace. Thank you for clarifying, Aaron, that Davis is Jamaican. I don't know what is wrong with the Jamaican FA. Like players like Keenan Davis, Gibbs White that has 2-3 caps for England, Reece Nelson, all these guys. Jamaica could have such a much more solid team if they really tried. But it seems like the affliction that's affecting NFF is also afflicting Jamaica. But at least they've got nice beaches and things that they can live off. While we have oil and a lot more of the established footballing pedigree. But you can see 2 sides of the same coin. Shout out to you, Da Vinci. Hey, Da Vinci, shout out to you, man. One of our favorite members and community members as well. Always giving me great takes and comments. Da Vinci says, shout out, Olu. Do you think Stanley would have left his club like that had Super Eagles made World Cup? It just seems somewhat strange, if not reckless, as a goalkeeper to just leave like that. I think you hit the nail on the head, Da Vinci. If we're going to the World Cup, Sainabali would have been absolutely stupid to rescind his contract. In fact, till today, I'm not sure what Sainabali was thinking. Like, bro, stay in Chippa United to the end of the season. Everyone's aware of what you've done for the Super Eagles. And they make a move in the summer. Now you're clubless. You haven't played football in 2 months. You've been dropped from Super Eagles squad because Eric Shell is not one of them weirdos that is just being moved by a Zaman language. And it's looking precarious. If Maduka Okoye comes in and has a storming 2 games and then ends up playing in June as well because he's fit, there's every chance that Eric Shell will say, Maduka, you know what? You're my keeper for the start of the qualifiers. Because can Eric Shaw really rely on the fact that, oh, Steinoubali has 2 AFCONs under his belt, and yes, he did not let me down in AFCON. But if you're a coach, you cannot rely on a player's performances from January when September qualifiers come to play. That is 8 months. If somebody gets pregnant in January, the baby will almost be done, be out by October. That's how long that time is. So, honestly, Steinoubali, good luck to you, man. I'm sure he has some advisors who would have advised him on the move, but left to me right now, I have to say that the move is looking more stupid by the day because surely you should have gone somewhere. This is not a day job. Like some of us, we can still come out and try, but you're a footballer, surely you should have options. But then you now rescind your contract before the international window, after the transfer window has closed. That is just stupid. So good luck to him, and we wish him all the best, honestly. Chuk says we can't wait for Okonkwo to bring in more competition. I like the Okonkwo competition take. Only thing I would advise guys is the same way people get excited when I hear Otele or certain names, Ejuke, when people are not watching them too much yet. Right now, if Maduka Okoye is at this level as a keeper, Okonkwo is here. Okonkwo plays in the championship for a reason, for Wrexham. Like, I need us to really be honest about the gap. Yes, we want him to grow. We can see because of his age, he can become something more. Let's say Wrexham make the Premier League. All of a sudden, you're playing against the best talents in the world. Fair enough. But Maduka Okoye right now is that guy. Nobody is living off Nigeria performances, and even that has led to him being dropped. So we have to be honest about the levels. I just want to manage expectations because I can tell people think Okonkwo is this amazing goalkeeper that's going to save the day and never make mistakes. And people will assume he's going to be the new savior of Nigerian goalkeeping. It's not like that. I'll be honest with you right now, if Nabali was still playing for his club side, I would have started Nabali. But apart from Nabali, our best bet and someone with even bigger potential to be better than Nabali is Maduka Okoye. But of course, he needs to be as good as Nabali in the intangibles. Your dedication to the national team, how much you care about it. You know, how good are you with your feet? Can you also play balls to Victor Osimhen's head like nobody can? How long is your long throw? Yes, we know Okoye is a better shot stopper. We'll never deny that. But we already know that nobody is better in penalties. But Okoye being in these environments and around these great teams is definitely something big for him. But just temper the expectation on Okonkwo. One thing I like about Okonkwo is playing for Wrexham, he's under a lot more spotlight than someone in the championship should be under. Because of the welcome to Wrexham, the fact that their Hollywood owners are around, they're in these documentaries. Okonkwo is probably a far-known quantity than he should be for someone in the championship. And he looks like he's dealing with that pressure well. So if that's an omen I would use to say, okay, keep going and well done for the way you've been performing, then I hear it on that. So let's see. Sorry about the stream dropping down. A few more comments before I get to the rest of the schedule. Where is my iPad? Da Vinci also says, Olu, what's your take on the table of failed wannabe English managers talking about Neymar? English players just doing punitive while their international mates are coaching like Fabregas. Great comment. I thought about it yesterday and I was just like, this is why England remains where they remain. Guys, there is nothing worse than living in England when you know that the average Premier League pundit or ex-international does not watch any other league. Even when I tell you guys about the perception of Osimhen or Lookman, it is based on that. The English Premier League dominates England so much that they do everything in their power to even suppress other leagues. The Bundesliga rights are owned by Sky, but they barely show any games. They show it on Sky Sports Mix, which is like the most useless channel of all. Like, don't even get me started on La Liga. They don't even want to push La Liga at all. Serie A, we used to even have more games to watch on TNT Sports than we do now. Now, if it's not the Sunday evening game, it's not on TV. Like, I'm telling you that the Prem are doing everything they can to suppress all these leagues. And you can tell because they're so uninformed on the other leagues. It's so bad. How can people, grown men that claim to be so knowledgeable in football, say those things about Neymar? I couldn't believe my eyes. And a lot of them can't even If you're not Wayne Rooney, you cannot even sniff Neymar's boots in this country, man. Like, honestly, they say so much nonsense. Exactly. In fact, Da Vinci, this whole point, like you said, look at Fabregas about to take Como to the Champions League while he's a co-owner. Como are fourth in the league. They've literally scored the second or third most goals in Serie A. Imagine what Como can be. While his mates are there just saying nonsense on podcast mics without any justification. In fact, an additional point to what you said, Da Vinci, is this comment by Aaron. I've noticed when an English player leaves England, it gets harder for them to get a call-up for the English national team. Fikayo Tomori has been playing for AC Milan in San Siro for over 5 years. He won the Scudetto. He has 5 caps in 7 years for the Three Lions. They've literally called him up for this international break just to waste his time. And him too, like Imumu, is going because he has no choice. But if he made the right decisions, he could have been the captain of Canada by now, or like this absolute starting centre-back rock with Bassi. And are you telling me that if we had Bassi and Tomori, they wouldn't have made the World Cup? Hell no. So it is what it is. I love this comment by Aaron so much. There's so many. Lloyd Kelly at Juventus. They will rather pick Ejikonsa. They will rather call up Dan Burn. As long as you're not in the Prem, it's a struggle for you. Look at Keenan Davis at Udinese right now. He will not even smell a looking. Loftus-Cheek, they remember him once every 3 years. That's just the way it goes. That's why if I'm Nwaneri, bro, go and speak to... It's just a shame NFF are useless people. Come and speak to me, Nwaneri. We'll find out who you should be speaking to. Please. We will. Once you leave the Prem, forget about it. Angel Gomez moved to Marseille. Marseille. Now he's back playing for Wolves on loan. He will never play for England in his life. Someone that could have probably played for Angola. So let everyone be doing themselves, man. But I'm telling you, like, once you're outside the Prem, the lack of coverage is disgraceful. All the things Osimhen was doing in his Scudetto year, when Tolu and I were going to watch him at Naples, nobody in England took notice. They're so arrogant. And that's why when the World Cup comes, me, I'll be there for England's failures. Look at what Michael Olise is doing in the Bundesliga right now. We're even lucky Harry Kane is England's captain. That's why they even keep an eye out. Say, oh, Harry Kane, oh my God, what he's doing in Germany is amazing. If it was not Harry Kane, they will not even bother. I'm telling you. I know this country. I'm telling you. So Premier League centric. It's so bad. That's why they don't know what's going on. They're going to be disgracing Neymar. Neymar Jr. I love Neymar so much. I bought a Brazil jersey last World Cup. When Nigeria were not there, I said, don't worry. This is Neymar Jr.'s final. When he was playing Croatia, I was so happy for him when he scored. I couldn't believe his teammates let him down like that. We were supposed to watch a Brazil-Argentina semi-final. Or is it quarter-final? Nah, semi-final. Somebody remind me anyway. But I will not accept Neymar Jr. slander. That's one of my favorite players in football. I love Neymar so much. What? Jogador. Junior, number 10. People were not there when we were watching Neymar when he was in Santos. Then Arsenal will host, Emirates Stadium used to host these friendly games for Brazil. When Kaká and Co were coming, they just started introducing Neymar in like 2010. Even when he's in Santos, he'll come and be bagging goals. Neymar Jr. can never be slandered on my watch, man. I'm telling you. Never, ever, ever. Thank you for that comment so much. Jackson says, hope Stanley will not regret it. I hope so. I think he has time to figure out his career, so let's see. For Okonkwo, we should be thinking about the Olympics for him. My brother, we're even trying to figure out how to convince him to join the national team. I think trying the Olympic angle, we're not yet there. We're not yet Morocco with the right structure. Let's first still face Super Eagles. Obviously, we have to face the Olympics because the qualifiers coming soon. But I would say for now, let's see what going on, and then go from there. I agree with you so much, Taiwo Awoniyi. The disrespect towards Maduka Okoye is too much. I'm telling you, this is why I love everybody in this community. Everyone who listens to this podcast taking their time to be informed, to watch football beyond your club sides and like agenda-based footy. The amount of Nigerians who their perception of Maduka Okoye is still formed from 4.5 years ago is incredible. In fact, it's hard to believe, I must say. Like, it's crazy. But let's see where he ends up getting to. FBV Zone said, we'll talk about the Daniel Daga situation. What's that to talk about? If you're a footballer and you come to Europe, I keep telling Nigerians, Europe is not Nigeria. We know the kind of things that people slide under the ground in Nigeria. In England, or Europe, you have to be accountable as a citizen or as a member of the society. You have to respect women. You cannot do things without consent. I've seen some And journalists trying to say, we wish Daniel Daga well. I've heard the story personally. I'm not one of those people. European law is very fair. Yes, sometimes you can be unlucky, but a lot of times, consents, ask and ask again. And we all know the way certain things are very, what's the word to use? Slippery slope in Nigeria when it comes to respect for women. And then someone will tell you that, oh, feminists are evil, as if you're not just asking for equality for women. The same way racism is bad and we ask for equality of men. So I don't know the kind of thinking or training or level of education he had. And obviously, some of these people, we see it with a lot of Nigerian people, especially if they did not grow up exposed. They come to Europe and the first thing that is shocking them is white woman, because maybe that's what they saw on TV. Me, I even prefer our own women. I like black women. That's my own. I don't discriminate. To do your thing. But you now get excited from the movies or whatever it is, and you now go and do something without consent. You have to face the law. Trust me, Norway will not be convicting somebody if he was not guilty in some form of something. So, honestly, there's not too much speak on it, bro. I can't even say I wish him well. I hope the letter of the law runs its course, and I hope he's an example of what not to do when you move to Europe just because you're a footballer and maybe you've come into a bit of money. And of course, it's a shame. This is a player that was already playing for FC Molde, the biggest club in Norway. Well, that's where Erling Haaland started his career. You know, he had already been in 220 World Cups. Looked like he was playing in Conference League games already, and he could have moved forward. But he chose to ruin his career. Don't come here. Me, I don't do that weird Nigeria thing of sympathy for rapists or people that assault women. We don't do that over here. We respect women over here with everything in our beings. Whether we are sad or not, we respect women always. I don't believe consent. It's not that hard. If a woman likes you, you will know. If a woman wants to sleep with you, you will know. If you have to ask yourself 2-3 questions, then you should not do it. Because women, when they're sure they want you to do stuff with them, they will let you know. So I hope that helps FBV Zone. But honestly, I cannot lie to you and tell you I have sympathy. People need to be educated. Same thing in Nigeria. We all know the kind of things we hear. You hear that pastor was accused of rape. They were brushed under the carpet after 3 months. How many times? Was it not Nigeria that they said that there was a festival a few days ago? How can a country have a festival about trying to rape women somewhere in that society? And this is a country that claims to be religious. But when it comes to LGBTQ, they'll tell you we don't do that over there. But you do a festival. And people are openly coming. They are recording videos. Where's the moral fabric of the society? You go and sell Nigeria to England, your colonial masters, they are laughing at your back. They give you loan again. They tell you they will deport the worst of their society to you. Nigeria is already struggling. There's already anarchy potentially juggling. You now go and collect money because they use Prince Charlie to do banquet dinner for you. Let's all be watching, man. I don't claim to have all the answers, but honestly, some things when it comes to Nigeria just make me sad. It's why I take football and music on my head. Those are the ones that I can make some kind of change. Even the football, look at the Azamen, even though we're doing our best. In a competent organization, they should have even sent us the jerseys, to be honest. If your biggest platform's trying to platform your national team, we should have the kits. I should be wearing it today. We should have seen some kind of video or movie about what the jersey is gonna mean if we're making the World Cup. But here we are. So let's keep talking. But bro, that's the last I'm gonna say on this situation. And like Aaron said, he ruined his own career. So good luck to him. Learn the lesson. And people learn from him. Please, if a woman likes you or wants you to touch her, she will tell you. If you are not sure in your mind, then don't do it. It will happen again for you. Anyway, that was it. Aaron said it was supposed to be semi-final. Thank you so much, Aaron. Like I said, can you imagine? I was looking forward to that Brazil-Argentina semi-final so badly because I didn't want Messi to win. I used to be such a Ronaldo guy. But the moment Argentina won that World Cup final, I'll be honest, true. I love Ronaldo. That's my guy, but Messi is the GOAT for sure. 100%. Like, there's no need to debate that one at all. Victor Palooza, thank you so much for this comment. Said, Okoye has really stepped up in Syria. Criminally underrated. Thank you so much. Honestly, if you give any Nigerian a highlight reel of Maduka Okoye's last 5 games in Syria, I promise you their thinking will change on him. Straight away. I'm telling you, straight away. And then 2 comments from Da Vinci before I continue. Da Vinci said, when that lady said Sadio Mane is above Neymar. Wait, do you know Da Vinci? I didn't even want to watch the whole video, so I don't get upset. So I didn't even see the part where that disrespect was mentioned. Sadio Mane above Neymar. I love Sadio Mane, but let's be guided now. Neymar disrespect is too much. Da Vinci said, my brother screamed that meme. Get back to the kitchen. Oh, wow. Okay, bless your brother, but we try to respect women, but I know what you mean. But on the real, it's 10 times worse if you black, you play outside England. Jude is lucky. You're right. So no get back to the kitchen. Men can also get in the kitchen. In fact, we should all be learning, you know. But I hear you on that one. But also, I like your comment, Da Vinci. If you're a player that's playing outside England, Jude Bellingham is a special case. When he left Birmingham, they retired his jersey. And he went straight to Borussia Dortmund and then straight to Madrid. So Bellingham was undeniable. But the ones that are not starting from the top, if you're any player that you have to start down and rise, Kenan Davis, Loftus-Cheek, Tom Murray, all these guys, just forget it. England's not going to rate you. Like, forget it. And then finally, Da Vinci said, Olu, I agree with you on Okonkwo. I think we're just letting English football media hype run away again. We can't compare a keeper playing for Syria with the championship keeper, Haba. Thank you so much, Da Vinci. I like your takes. That, in a nutshell, that just sums up my thinking on that one, guys. Amazing, amazing potential Okonkwo, but we have to say Haba. Championship versus Syria, please. And he's playing well in Syria. It's not like he's goalkeeper for Pisa or Verona or Lecce or Cremonese and struggling. Mind you, Cremonese is where Kaneseki came from before he moved to Atalanta. And now he looks like Italy are already going through another golden age of superstar goalkeepers. I mean, between Kaneseki, what's that number one, Donnarumma, the Juventus goalkeeper, De Gregorio. They have so many good goalkeepers who are Italian right now. Like, honestly, it's impressive. Then you now have Vicario. Even Vicario's all right, you know, but it is what it is. Anyway, thanks so much for that discussion, guys. That was fantastic. I thought this might be a quick one, but it's been nice to chat. Okay, so Starboy of the week. Okay, I feel like this one is easy to pick it out. I'm going to share the bronze with 3 players, starting with Philip Otele for scoring his first goal in the Bundesliga and for making such a good impact in his first 2 months at Hamburg. As I said, this is an established club who are fighting their way back into Bundesliga. And for them to have still given Borussia Dortmund such a scare to be 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go. Yes, they still lost by 3-2. But for Philip Otele to open his account in the Bundesliga on the same weekend where he got his first call-up to the Super Eagles squad, you have to say this is what dreams are made of as a footballer. So Philip Otele, you share the bronze medal, and shout out to you for your exceptional performance, even though your team lost. Also, Felix Agu, you're also sharing the bronze medal this week for your fantastic assist for Justin Jimna coming off the bench in the relegation 6-pointer for Werder Bremen. And by winning this game, you have to say that it's very, very unlikely that Bremen will be able to slip back into the relegation zone. So what an amazing contribution as he builds his fitness back from injury. And also sharing the bronze medal is the man I've just been talking about a lot, Maduka Okoye, for yet another clean sheet, yet another exceptional performance for Udinese, continue to grow in stature as goalkeeper and presence in Italy, and just for being such a strong mentally player. We've seen him come back from debacles that have happened to him before a lot. Mind you, like Jackson said, he's kept 5 clean sheets and he did not even play any game until October, by the way. This is a player that was counted out after the national team for his way back, went to Sparta Rotterdam, played well, made the wrong move going to Watford, then ended up sitting on the bench, and we're thinking what's going to happen with his career. But he had the presence of mind to decide, you know what, there's a link between the Pozzo family, between Watford and Udinese. Can I get to Udinese? And look at him. It took him a while to establish himself as number 1. But now he's done that, and now he's flourishing and thriving. So Maduka Okoye, for getting another assist as Udinese beat Genoa by 2-0. You also shared the bronze medal this week. Also, now for the silver medal, this week we have to give it to Ademola Lookman. Despite losing the game, this is a player that in 2 months is on the way to playing the Copa del Rey final, has a quarterfinal Champions League affair against Barcelona to play against. In the Copa del Rey, he already scored against Barcelona as they beat Barcelona in the semi-final. He's already active in La Liga and has scored his second La Liga goal. This is someone with 5 goals and I believe 3 or 4 assists already in 8 games. He's already paying off his transfer fee in numerous ways, has already developed a telepathic relationship with Giuliano Simeone, most importantly, and Antoine Griezmann, and has shown that it belongs on the highest level of football with his performances for Atletico Madrid. In literally 2 months, he has scored against Barcelona, and yesterday we saw him score against Real Madrid in his first Madrid derby with an excellent finish getting the assist from Gennaro Simeone again to slot the ball home to make it 1-0. Yes, they end up losing the game, but this is a player who has every opportunity to end this year. After being one of the best players at AFCON, we know that up until the semi-final, he was probably the player of the tournament, by the way, So when you look at the season, he could end up with the Champions League medal. He could end up with the Copa del Rey. Yes, he will likely finish third. And it's a shame because Nigeria is not in the World Cup. Because based on his credentials, you have to say that Lookman and Osimhen were probably fourth runners for the African Footballer of the Year title, especially with the lack of Senegalese players really pulling up trees in their club sides in terms of performances. So Ademola Lookman, for continuing to put Nigeria on the map and for continuing to shine and settle in so well to the Metropolitano, you get the silver medal this week. Gold medal this week. You already know I spent 5 minutes eulogizing about him. Big man Taiwo Awoniyi, man, what a story. We all know about the struggles, we know about the trials, we know about the tribulations, but we have to give credit where it's due when amazing things happen to amazing people. And over the weekend, locked in another relegation 6-pointer when Nottingham Forest needed to win their first game in a minute in the league under Vitor Pereira. For Taiwo Awoniyi to step up, mind you, I know I had a good game as well. Kept a clean sheet. But yes, Gibbs White scored against the team that also tried to buy him. We saw Ego Jesus score. And then for Taiwo Awoniyi to have the presence of mind to come off the bench and to wrap up the 3-point, scoring the third goal with a fantastic finish from a Nico Williams cross to score his second Premier League goal of the season and to continue to shine as a cult hero in Nottingham Forest. This is a player that is loved and adored by the fans and continues to find ways to figure things out. You, Taiwo Awoniyi, you are the Starboy of the week. You get the gold medal this week, and long may the good luck and good news continue for you in the mighty name of Jesus. So Taiwo is the Starboy of the week for this weekend. Okay, so let's wrap up the podcast to see if anybody wants to come and have a little chit chat. Let me go through the comments now. Go through the player reviews quickly. There's no next matches, so I'll rush through this section. But Afriyu said Tomori has left the EPL for Syria in 2020. Thank you. 6 years, bro. Go and check how many caps he has gotten. It's no more than 5. So good luck to him. Every time we'll now be having to do stories with the Athletic for James Hawkins to platform him so they can remember who the hell he is in England. It is what it is, my friend. Anyway, Milan look like they'll be back in the Champions League next year under Allegri. So maybe that'll help in terms of his visibility as well. We'll see how that continues to go. Okay, so player reviews. As you guys know, this weekend there were 8 Premier League games. Only Arsenal, City, Palace, and Wolves did not play because Arsenal and Wolves have played already before. And Palace will play Man City at a later date once that fixture is rescheduled. But we saw the Fulham boys pick up another victory as they continue to push towards potentially making it to Europe. Fulham won yet again, beating Burnley by 3-1. Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi played 90 minutes as we expected, and we saw Chukwueze play the final 28 minutes as Harry Wilson scored yet again, and Raul Jimenez continues to heat up for the World Cup. Fulham are now 9th. They are literally only 2 points behind Brentford, which means that there's all to play for European spots. Can you imagine Fulham playing in Europe again, just like they did in 2010 when they got to the Europa League final to play Juventus? Remember on that Clint Dempsey, and I think Juventus beat them in the final. So I'm sure Craven Cottage would love to see yet another night in Europe. So let's see how they end up for the rest of the season once the international break is done. Obviously, I already spoke about Nottingham Forest. Actually, one thing to mention is I already spoke about Olaino and Taiwo Awoniyi for their game yesterday. One thing to mention, though, is on Thursday, we saw Olaino come off the bench for the final 15 minutes as Nottingham Forest were able to turn around their 1-0 deficit by beating FC Midtjylland 2-1 away. And then they absolutely thrashed them by 3-0 via penalty kicks. So the good news is Nottingham Forest will be in the Europa League quarterfinal. And, I mean, they've got a tough game. I think they play Porto. I need to double check. But that will be a very, very interesting tie. But the good news is we have players still involved in all levels of the European competitions left. And also, it looks like Nottingham Forest may just about stay in the Premier League. So long may it continue. Aroko D did not play this weekend, as we know, but we know he scored in his last game out in that game against Brentford last week, Monday. So good luck to him. Obviously, he's not in the Super Eagles squad, and I think that's the right thing to do. But we wish him well next time. Also, Christian Tuchel was not in the squad for Palace. At this point, it's like, we know he was not going to play in the Conference League, and Palace did not play over the weekend. But we have to just pray at this moment whenever we see Uche play minutes on that glass now, and then hope that by the summer things will shake out correctly for him. Other results to be aware about: Man United managed to draw 2-2 against Bournemouth on Friday. They thought they had the win in the bag, but nope. Mercy said no. Liverpool were shocking. They lost 2-1 to Brighton. Danny Welbeck with the late run for the World Cup squad. 2-1 over there. Obviously, we know the Fulham result. And then on Saturday, Chelsea fans, I hope Shehu is here and the rest. We saw Chelsea get absolutely battered 3-0 by Everton. In fact, that was such a brilliant result that Everton are only 2 points behind Chelsea. And Everton are only 3 points behind Liverpool, who currently occupy 5th place. Can you imagine if David Moyes makes it to the Champions League in the first season playing in a new stadium, when 14 months ago he got hired to help them stay in the Premier League? David Moyes is an absolute Premier League legend and warrior. He's been in the Prem so long that we saw them singing "Feed the Yak and he will score, feed the Yak and he will score," in respect of Yakubu Egbeni's exploits when he played for Everton. Guess who was Everton's manager when Yakubu Egbeni was scoring the goals? Yes, you guessed it correctly. David Moyes. And now, 20 years later, he's still the gaffer and flourishing. Mind you, he's the one that won the Conference League title for West Ham. What does Moyes not do well? Moyes, shout out to you, man. Apart from that Man United blip, I think he's been one of the greats of our league for sure, for sure. And then late night kickoff, thank God I went out clubbing, man. Leeds Brentford 0-0. What's an absolute stinkfest. Yesterday, we of course saw Sunderland beat Newcastle at Times Square derby. What a performance. And honestly, Newcastle is like that Saudi money's not working. Sunderland were exceptional in the second half. I look at Brian Brobby scoring the last minute smash and grab. Also, guys, we need to talk about Newcastle whinging like bitches all the time. Excuse my language. Newcastle always come and complain after results that they were not able to spend money. They could not sign this player. Guys, Brian Brobby, Sunderland signed him for less than £20 million. Meanwhile, Newcastle decided to spend 55 million on the 29-year-old Johan Visa, 70 million on Nick Waltemada, who they've decided is not a striker anymore. And then went to go and drop 45 million on Jacob Ramsey. Guys, you've all seen Jacob Ramsey play before. Give me one reason why that guy should be, they should spend 45 million pounds on him when he's just like a slightly younger version of Joe Willock. Then they'll now come and complain about financial restrictions coming them problems. I am here for Newcastle's downfall. They're a terribly run football club. Look at Elliot Anderson that they let go. Elliot Anderson came from their academy. They let him go. Now, Elliot Anderson is playing for Nottingham Forest and is going to be starting alongside Declan Rice in the World Cup. Yankuba Minte was in Newcastle's academy. They claimed they were forced to sell him. Does that not tell you that they picked the wrong players to sell and the wrong players to buy? Look at Minte at Brighton. And look at Newcastle's wingers. So Newcastle, I'll be there for their downfall all the time because they whinge like bitches. Every time they fuck up, instead of them to look inwards, they try and blame restrictions on spending money. Meanwhile, they spend the money stupidly. Very silly club. Anyway, I'm so glad Sunderland packed them up. And to make it even better, Sunderland went above them in the table. So Newcastle, with all their Saudi money, when they think they want to rub shoulders with the big boys, they now find themselves in 12th. And they're 7 points behind Liverpool. In fact, good luck to them. But honestly, I do not even mean it. Newcastle deserve everything they get for being arrogant and thinking they could mix up with the big boys. And now they're being humbled and they're whinging and crying. In fact, Sandro Tonali, just get ready. We're coming to get you at Arsenal. We already know you've given us some indications you want to come. Ricardo Calafiori will talk to you. Don't worry. We'll see you in the summer. You can't be playing no non-Champions League football. Come and play with Declan Rice, Zubimendi, and Merino. Let's boost our midfield even better and then figure the rest out. So good luck to Newcastle and Sunderland, but I'm very happy to see Newcastle struggle. Then yesterday we saw Aston Villa get back to winning ways, winning their first game in 5 Premier League games, beating West Ham 2-0. Ollie Watkins scoring a goal yet again after forever. So that was good. And of course, we saw what Nottingham Forest did to Tottenham. So despite the League Cup loss, of course, Arsenal remain 9 points ahead of Man City. Let's see if Man City can win their game in hand. But the most beautiful part of this is I know the next time we watch Premier League games, which will be in like 3 weeks, guys, is Chelsea have to play Man City. And Chelsea have to win to try and make the Champions League because that 220 million debt is on the way, that loss. So Chelsea have to figure something out at home against City. So let's see if they can do us now a favor. I mean, it's a lose-lose or win-win for Chelsea, but we'll see how the games go. But yeah, that's it for the Premier League. One thing to let everybody know is there's not going to be Prem football for a while. So prepare your mind. This week that's coming is all international football. The week after, when all the other leagues are resuming, is the FA Cup quarterfinal weekend. So there's still no Premier League football. So you have to wait until the weekend of, I think, April 10th for us to watch Premier League football again. So Arsenal enemies, just buckle up, man. We're just getting started, yeah? Once that time comes, then we'll see how the final countdown goes and who ends up winning what and who ends up being relegated and who ends up going into the championship and who ends up getting to Europe. So it's a lot to play for. So that's it for the Premier League. Before I do a speed run through a few comments, Jackson said, Man United just disgraced Moyes. Honestly, I think it was just a bit too soon. It's like when Emery taking over after Wenger. It's like even though Slot won the title last year, you're now beginning to see the issues when you follow such a legendary manager like Klopp. So it's just bad timing for Moyes. But I love that comment. Thank you for saying that. And Da Vinci, as always, with the great takes. Olumo grease to your elbows for giving David Moyes his flowers. Youngins will know this is an OG that was coaching Everton when Yobo started playing for the Super Eagles. I salute him even as a Man U fan. Thank you so much for even reminding me about that. David Moyes was Joseph Yobo's coach throughout when he was in Everton. Till today, we have not seen a Super Eagles centre-back play as many games in the Premier League as Joseph Yobo. Joseph Yobo's Everton even finished 4th in the year 2005. Unfortunately, at that point, the 4th place team still had to play qualifiers. I know this because Arsenal, we played a lot of them. And they somehow got Villarreal. So they played Villarreal in the Champions League qualifiers, lost to Villarreal. Villarreal then entered the tournament and, of course, made it all the way to the semi-final where they played Arsenal in the semi-final. And then Jens Lehmann saved Riquelme's penalty and Arsenal made it to the final. So just to let you know the kind of exploits David Moyes did. David Moyes took Everton to an FA Cup final in 2008. Luis Saha scored, I remember, 1-1. And I think Chelsea beat them 2-1 on penalties. I remember it was that Chelsea super squad at that time. So, guys, David Moyes, not today. It's not today. West Ham, Conference League. Look at what he's doing with Everton. In fact, I'm rooting for them. I hope they somehow make it into the Champions League because that would be exceptional. Or at worst, finish 6th. Can you imagine if Everton finish above Liverpool? And the best part is Everton get to host Liverpool in their new stadium in a few weeks. Absolute cinema. And I'm excited to see that. So we will be there. We will be there to see what happens. Exactly as Jackson's just added as well. Moyes converted Yobo from a right back to a centre back. What a guy David Moyes is, man. That's what I'm telling you and what we're clearly seeing from all of these comments. So shout out to everybody. Everyday Manuel says, Olu, do you remember Yobo was captaining Everton and Nigeria at the same time? That's how Moyes influenced football. Absolutely, my bro. In fact, I will never forget one of the stats I remember. There was a season that Joseph Yobo played. He was the only player in the Premier League to play all 38 games and play every single minute of every match. That's how influential Joseph Yobo was. In fact, we should give our heroes more flowers. Joseph Yobo, I know they brought him into the squad from time and time. Where is our Hall of Fame? Where is the information where you can understand how great these people were? Where are the Yobo clips? Yobo went to the World Cup in 2002. How old was he? Like, where is all the documentation as a man? If it's to be useless and be lying to us now, you'll be lying. How do the new generation know what Joseph Yobo did for the Super Eagles? And how do they know? How do they see? Useless people. See, they have made it about them again. Now it's pissing me off. Aaron said, you guys are so much older than me. Aaron, you know what they say, the young shall grow, man. I was 20-year-old one day. You know, I was 21 living in Australia during the 2014 World Cup. I was 9 years old during the Korea-Japan World Cup. But every dog has his day. I remember when I was younger, I used to look at people that are 33 and be like, damn, you old, man. Now, we're at Jesus' age. And the good news is you either get snowed down, it means you died. So by God's grace, may we all live longer and continue to get older in Jesus' name. Shout out to Aaron, man. Very knowledgeable as well. And Jackson said, Yobo was a great CB for Nigeria. Oh, of course. I remember I was the captain when we lifted AFCON in 2013. Yobo is certified. Played 3 World Cups for Nigeria. Even made it out of the group stage once at least. Nigeria, we've gone to 6 World Cups. Made out knockout group stage 3 times. You know. And this is when it was 32-man World Cup. So a lot of great things to do. But who is making the notes of these things for the new generation to be aware? Anyway, let me speed run through the rest of the weekend player reviews so I could give back time to everybody for today. Championship, just know that Franco Yeka is coming back to the Premier League. Coventry won yet again, 3-0. They're by far the best team in the championship. They're coming back to England. Done. Osai Samuel is going to spend another year in the championship. Birmingham are now 11th. They lost 1-0 to Derby. Osai Samuel was on the bench. So no need to talk too much about that one. Unless he does something in summer, which I personally think he should because he's too good for the championship. Joe Aribo played 10 minutes for Leicester in the 0-0 draw against Watford. Leicester remain in the relegation zone. We already know that Joe Aribo is definitely on the way down in his career, but we hope Leicester can somehow stay in the league. Ranalé Bioshu played 90 minutes, but Blackburn drew 0-0 against Middlesbrough. They are luckily not in relegation zone, but I want to see what happens to Ale Bioshu in the summer. As for Semi Ajayi, it's very likely we may see him in the Premier League. Hull City won 3-1 over Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Ajayi played 90 minutes and they're currently 5th in the league. So they'll play in the playoffs. So can they get lucky over a Wrexham or a Millwall or a QPR? Time shall tell and we shall see. In Syria, I feel like the more I pray for Giftaban to score, the more useless his team becomes. Giftaban played another 90 minutes. Verona lost 1-0 to Atalanta away. It was always going to be a tough game, but it's not happening for them at all. We spoke about Maduka Okoye's exploits for Udinese against Genoa. Now, one piece of news that makes me very excited. FDB, my shooter. Fisayo Dele Bashu is now starting all the games for Lazio, playing 90 minutes steady. Like, if I heard that Fisayo did not start a game now, it's like a surprise. Fisayo played 90 minutes for Lazio as they fight their way back up the top of the table. They're now currently 8th. They beat Bologna by 2-0 over the weekend. So very, very excited by the result. And I'm always excited to watch FDB football for the Super Eagles. And I trust FDB. Number 10. He's got something for us for sure. So let's see how it goes. And long may the good performance continue. Aki Sommer, on the other hand, thankfully, he got some minutes recently. He played 45 minutes for Pisa yesterday. But unfortunately for them, Como beat them 5-0. Guys, even me as an Arsenal fan, I know that we may be upset with Fabregas. But what he's doing with this Como team is, I think, is the most impressive club performance in any of the leagues right now, in the top 5 leagues. Como being 4th in their second season ever in Serie A, while their co-owner is their manager, and implementing all these kind of amazing theories and footballing philosophies that are almost anti-Italian, and beating the Italians in Italy. Nah, Como are playing ball, man. I'm telling you, bro. They're scoring so many goals. And for them to have won 5-0 yet again, just take your flowers. Cesc, you know. But anyway, Akisomor is playing 45 minutes. We already know he'll go back to Inter Milan in summer, so no need to worry too much. In La Liga, he spoke about Lookman playing 57 minutes and scoring a goal for Atletico in the 1-0 loss to Real Madrid. We also saw the battle of the Nigerians as Sevilla played Valencia. Sevilla is such a useless club that they lost 2-0 at home against Valencia. Valencia are now 12th in the league. Sadiq Umar came off the bench, played the final 23 minutes of the game, while Hugo Duro scored the opening goal. Valencia have been doing well, I must say. Considering that at one point they were bottom, I have to say that the revival over the past few months has been very impressive. Sevilla, on the other hand, I have to admit, Aquadams need to leave that club, man. Sevilla are not the Sevilla of the past. They don't know how to platform attackers. They don't even score enough goals. Go somewhere where they'll create chances for you, my boy. We know what you're capable of in a Super Eagles jersey. They were so bad in this game, they didn't even play Eduque. And honestly, like, I don't know what to feel about Sevilla. They're currently 15th in the league. They could still be dragged into a relegation battle. But let's see if they're able to stay up. But honestly, they don't do anything that gives me any form of excitement. In the Bundesliga, I just spoke about Philip Otele scoring his first goal in the Bundesliga for Hamburg as they unfortunately threw away a 2-goal lead to lose 3-2 to Borussia Dortmund, even though they were 2-0 up after 17 minutes. And we'll see him for the Super Eagles. So let's see how it performs for us. Bayer Leverkusen, the good news is Nathan Teller is back from injury. He played the final 36 minutes as Leverkusen drew 3-3 against Heidenheim on Saturday. They remain 6th in the Bundesliga, so they've got a big fight on their hands to make it back into the Champions League. And if they're going to keep Kasper Holmlund, who's their manager, because it's not looking good. They've bounced out by Arsenal. Normally, Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso would have been second or third at worst. But let's see where they end up for the season. Also, Uchenna Ogundu, who was signed from the Turkish league for Augsburg, he came on in 86 minutes for Augsburg to make his second appearance for Augsburg. They unfortunately lost 5-2 to Stuttgart, but they remain 10th in mid-table, so no chance of any relegation there. And hopefully we'll see him flourish and blossom next season. Sometimes, especially German clubs, they sign players as developmental players. It's like Sani Suleiman at Leipzig. He's not going to get a sniff this year. But Leipzig will sell Diomande. Maybe they'll sell Antonio Nusa. And then Suleiman will have a full preseason, and we'll see how it ends up for next year. Same with the Gundu. So let's see how next year goes for him with Oberg. Obviously, we already spoke about Felix Agu coming off the bench to assist Justin in Gymnast, winner for Werder Bremen against Wolfsburg. And of course, we saw Kevin Akpoguma remain on the bench on Friday. But this time it was for the best because Hoffenheim got thrashed 5-0 to Leipzig, which is absolutely disgraceful. In League One, Moses Simon played 84 minutes as Paris FC finally won a game. Oh, thank you, God. They beat Le Havre by 3-2 on Sunday. So good. They're now 13th in the league, so further away from relegation zone. I already spoke about Chidozie Awaziem getting an assist, but unfortunately, Nantes lost 3-2 to Strasbourg. So Nantes remain second bottom in League One, and they've got a big fight on their hands to remain in division. I think what is even most concerning for me is the fact that they're not scoring goals. I'm pretty sure they're already 9 points away from safety. And there's only 7 games to go. Yeah. So for them they're literally 5 points off 16th place Auxerre, who are safe because only 2 teams get relegated now. So they even have to somehow find a way to win 2 of their last 8 games and hope that Auxerre and Nice do not win some more games. They're 10 points behind Nice in 15th. So the honest truth is it's very likely that they're going to go down, unfortunately. So let's see what happens in that situation. More positive news, though. Tochiko Nadi's Marseille remained third, but as usual, he was on the bench as they lost 2-1 to Lille. He's another player that I think we should not judge his Marseille move too early. Let's see what happens next summer and judge him next season on how he performs for Marseille, if he even ends up playing for Marseille properly. So let's see. Now, Portuguese League, Zedu Sanusi and Terry Murphy played in Porto's 2-0 win over Stuttgart. They both started. Fantastic win for Porto. 2-0 over Stuttgart, so they're into the quarterfinals. Also, on Sunday, we saw Sanusi play 90 minutes, and Murphy came on for the final 35 minutes as Porto beat Braga by 2-1. So they're an inch closer to securing their Portuguese title. Obviously, they won it the most in Portugal, but the last 2 years, they lost the title to Sporting Lisbon, Victor Gyökeres and Ruben Amorim. So it's time for them to reclaim their rightful trophy. Finally, Cal saw Omar Abubakar come on for the final 11 minutes as they beat Nacional 1-0. And of course, spoke about Isaac James getting an assist for Alverca, but they unfortunately lost 4-1 to Sporting Lisbon on Sunday. In Belgium, Rafael Nadal's Club Brugge keep fighting towards the title. They beat KV Mechelen by 4-1 on Saturday, so they remain in the title race with Union Saint-Gilloise. As for Girasor, also freshly called up to the Super Eagles squad, so congratulations to him. He played 45 minutes on Thursday, as unfortunately Genk got thrashed 5-1 by Freiburg to bow out of the Europa League, even though they had a 1-goal lead from the first leg, so that's really bad. And then on Sunday, he played the final 21 minutes as Genk drew 5-5 to RAAL La Louvain. 5-5. I need to watch those highlights. What the hell? That is interesting. And then we saw Chibuike Ekwemesi play 83 minutes for OH Leuven as they beat Royal Antwerp 1-0 on Sunday. Still no news on Benjamin Frederick. I've seen quite a few people ask me about Benjamin Frederick. We're still yet to get any updates. I've checked Brentford. I've checked Denda. It feels like his injury may be more serious than we realized, or his rehab is not going as well as we expected, because we thought he'll be back after AFCON, and now we're 8 days away from April, and this is a player that's been injured since October, November. So what's going on? You know, it's such a shame, because imagine how the last 4 months could have gone from Frederick. He could have started in AFCON, could have played so well. Like, he literally could have even probably forced his way back into the Brentford side, because, yes, I respect Brentford's sides, but when you have a player of Frederick's quality, Brentford can't tell me that they cannot keep him as the 4th centre-back. I would love for Brentford to make Europe and for them to keep Frederick next season and actually give him a chance. If this is a guy that could play like really big World Cup qualifiers for Nigeria and not look out of place, I see no reason not to give him a go. But as we discussed earlier in the podcast, England is very England-centric. These people do not watch shit. I watched a very renowned journalist say on a Totally Football show that until last week when Arsenal played Bayer Leverkusen, like 12 days ago, he had never heard of Christian Kofani. Guys, we all watched AFCON. We saw Christian Kofani play for Cameroon. We know he's been playing for Bayer Leverkusen all season. And an English journalist is telling us that until 2 weeks ago, he had not even watched him. So how do you think Brentford are even taking into account Frederick's performances for Nigeria or his performances in Belgium? They're probably thinking it's not the Premier League, so we can't judge it too much. The arrogance is off the scale. That's why I love seeing England lose, man. Because they don't need validation. Don't worry, for club football, yes, I want Arsenal to win because that one is close to the heart. But it's national football. Nah. So anyway, like I said, like Taiwo mentioned as well, we heard he's back on grass and he's stepping up his training. But I'm just talking about the final ending and him actually playing games and being back on the pitch so we could watch him resume his career, which we know is very promising and exciting. So that's it in terms of Belgium. Turkey, we know Osimhen played in the Liverpool game where they lost 4-0. He broke his arm and went straight to Nigeria. Shout out to him for doing the stream with Carter FA. I thought that was interesting for him to give insight on his life, and talk about interesting things. Don't worry, one day our time is coming and we'll mainly keep it about football because that's what we want to know about. But I like the love he's showing to the people. And look, anybody that's doing anything with streaming, being online content, I cannot tell you how hard this thing is. So for someone to have 600,000 subscribers on Twitch, he must be doing something right. Even if it's not your cup of tea or it's your cup of tea, you have to say that that's great to see. So shout out for Osimhen for doing that. As for Poloduachu, the run finally came to an end, guys. I'm so sad. Poloduachu finally played a match and did not score. But Trabzonspor actually won the game 1-0 when they beat Eyüpspor 1-0 over the weekend. Onuachu and Chibuike Iweala both started the game, but it ended Onuachu's run of scoring every single game he's played since he returned from AFCON. So I guess all good things have to come to an end at some point. So shout out to you, Onuachu, man. What a run. And you're still in with the chance of winning the Turkish title. And of course, you have the golden boots pretty much sewn up. So keep going and we'll see how you perform against Iran because I think there's a big chance Onuachu will start, especially if Eric Shaw continues playing his two-striker formation, which I think is definitely his preference. There's only two strikers he called up, Onuachu and Akwa Adams. So Onuachu, buckle up. Let's see if you can score your 5th goal for the Super Eagles on Friday. Looking forward to that. And then Wilfred Ndidi, Super Eagles captain, also played 90 minutes. They beat Kashim-Pasa by 2-1. They remain in 4th place, which for Besiktas is not good enough. The worst they should ever be is 3rd, but it is what it is. And Anthony Dennis was not in action over the weekend because Gotsepe was supposed to play Galatasaray on Wednesday. But of course, that game got postponed because Galatasaray had to lose handsomely to Liverpool. In the Czech Republic League, the good news is Emmanuel Uchena, the centre-back I keep telling you guys to follow. He finally played his first 90 minutes for Sparta Prague in the Conference League on Thursday against AZ Alkmaar. Unfortunately, they lost 4-0, but I'm telling you, there's a good centre-back there and good to see him back on the pitch. And then Onyemaechi was in action playing 90 minutes for Olympiacos in their 0-0 draw against AE Larissa yesterday. Unknowingly, Olympiacos are now 3rd, so they need to figure out their act together to ensure that they do not throw away the Greek league title. At the moment, they are behind AEK Athens by 2 points, and there is a total of how many games do they have left? Can't be more than 5. I think they have 5 or 6 games left, and they're 2 points behind. So, look, we want Onyemaechi to win the title again and get back into Champions League. Those are the simple things. Onyemaechi, I'm glad you played 90 minutes, which gives me confidence that you start on Friday as well. So let's see if Eric Shaw gives him a chance to continue his good performances in a Super Eagles kit. And finally, we saw Kelechi Iheanacho play 57, but Celtic lost 2-0 to Dundee United on Sunday. And then finally, I know some people have been craving for him in the community, but we saw Emmanuel Fernandez get his maiden call up to the Super Eagles. I'm sure you watched the video I did when I spoke about the Super Eagles list released a few days ago. Obviously, Emmanuel Fernandez, world profile, 6'5". The guy has scored 6 goals in 27 games this season from center back. So means he's a serious aerial threat. He's young enough that I think he can even use both feet, and he's quite fast and agile. Yes, he moved straight from League One in England straight to the Scottish League, which in my opinion is having a shocker of a league because why are Hearts top? And I mean, Rangers are literally 3rd. They're not doing well. I think now they're even 2nd above Celtic. But whether you like it or not, when you look at the profile of the player and where he could potentially be going, I think he's only 24 years old. So he has his whole future ahead of him. And yet again, another good centre-back to break into the pool. So now we literally have, for this round of fixtures, Basi is there, Ajayi is there, Ugbo is there, and Fernandez has been called up. And waiting on the wings, we still have Benjamin Frederick, Chibike Nwaiwu, Emmanuel Uchena, So even them Torunariga, but remove those ones. There's at least 6 to 8 center backs that we've called up for Nigeria now. So Tomori, good luck to you. Adarbayo, you will never play for us. That one I'm sure. Don't waste our time. You have wasted enough. You're not even that good. So let's keep it moving. But the point is we have a healthy pool and it's now looking very, very fruitful. I still think on their day, Benjamin Frederick and Basi should be the starting center backs. Personally, I'm not Ajayi's biggest fan, as you know, and he's about to be 33. But Ajayi and Ugbo, I like them as backups. But more importantly, I like the fact that you have an Emmanuel Fernandez and a Chibike Nwaiwu, especially as young center backs on the come up. So Eric Shell, I'm sure you're watching, and let's continue to figure this thing out and see how our players perform. Of course, there was also the League Cup. I'm not going to get into that because it's not. Obviously, Arsenal lost. Man City played us off the park. They deserve to win. The irony is until the Kepa error, it was still in the balance, even though tactically you have to say Man City outclassed us. I thought Antoine Semenyo was having a field day, especially once Nkapie got his yellow card. The amount of times they was able to beat us. Oh, wow. Honestly, it was like Pep wanted to remind the world who he was. And that's exactly what happened. And for Nico Wright, scored 2 goals, very impressive for him. He'll probably start at left back at the World Cup. But yeah, good humbling lesson. But the good news is out of the 4 trophies Arsenal want to win, you would rather lose the League Cup and make sure that you bounce back for the other tournaments that we'll be playing. So left to me, one of the things that gives me joy is Arteta is very good at compartmentalizing losses and making sure that we keep moving and we do not take basically you rarely see Arsenal a bad loss linger, especially this season. Once Arsenal have a bad loss this season, it's only the 4th time we've lost any match of any kind in all competitions, and we played over 50 games. Every of the 3 times before, we end up going on long winning runs of at least 4 games. So left to me, look, we get to play Southampton when we come back in the Premier League. Before we even, in the FA Cup, before we even get to play Bournemouth in the Premier League, we would have played a game against Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. So just compartmentalize. Bad day at Wembley. It doesn't happen often to Arsenal. We usually win at Wembley. It is what it is. We keep moving. Face the Southampton game. Let's get back to the semi-final. And of course, FA Cup, we know we've won it 14 times. So let's see what we can do. Then face Sporting Lisbon 1 game at a time. And then we prosecute our final 7 games in the Premier League. And we'll see where we end up. If we lose, we'll hold our hands up. We'll take the banter. But I have to say, I'm still very, very convinced Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. And what an exciting moment. Everybody get your tickets because I'm telling you, London is going to shake. We're going to see this country. You're going to know who really owns London. Forget all that talk of Chelsea from everybody all over the world, even in this England. Everybody knows there are at least 3 Arsenal fans for every Chelsea fan in this England, I'm telling you. And when Arsenal finally win a league title in this London, after 22 years, the first title of any kind for a London team since Chelsea in 2017. I'll be honest, even if you hate Arsenal so much, just for the vibes, you need to pray we win. Because I'm telling you, we're going to see stuff we've never seen before in a way that we've never seen before, I'm telling you. So yeah, congratulations to Pep and City. Good luck to them. I'm thinking that's his final parting gift because I really have a feeling Pep is going to leave in the summer, I must say. So that's it for this podcast. I've posted a link if anybody wants to come and quickly give a community call in. But just to do the final housekeeping, guys, thanks so much for all the love. Please like the video if you have not liked the video. I know that's what led to the thing shaking out the other time. So I'm almost scared to check again. But please just do me this one favor. I'm begging you in the name of Jesus. That would be much appreciated. I see we now have 33 likes. I will take that. But if there's any more likes, that'll be much appreciated. Please remember, we still do our members only live streams every Wednesday, although we're trying to figure out the right time and moments just to make sure that all the team members are able to join. For this week, there will be no live stream on Thursday because there's no weekend preview to do for club football. Instead, make sure you look out for the Nigeria versus Iran video preview. It's the first time Nigeria's playing a friendly match in a long time that we're previewing. I think since we played Russia in June last year. So it's been a while. But I like to still watch Nigerian friendlies and see how we perform. We cannot be fairer than Nigerians. We have to watch everybody. So I'm going to record the preview episode on Wednesday. It would have dropped in your feed by latest lunchtime on Thursday. So you have all of Thursday and all of Friday to watch the preview before the match kicks off at 3 p.m. UK time or 4 p.m. Nigeria time on Friday. So we'll watch the game. I'll do a live watch along as we were doing in the AFCON group stages. So for any of our new community members who joined during when I was in Morocco, before I went to Morocco, I used to do live watch alongs for every Nigeria game where we'll show the lineup, we'll watch the games together, and we'll celebrate together. So we're going to do that for the Iran game. So make sure you join me at 3 p.m. in the UK for that live watch along. I will not do a live post-game review like I used to do during AFCON, but the reason I want to do that is to make sure I reintroduce hot takes. I'm sure most of our community members from last year will remember when we used to do hot takes after Nigeria games. So I want to do the hot takes so that you can give me all your thoughts, and then I'll review them and drop it as a video. It's literally all hot takes from the community, nobody else. Whether it's on YouTube or any of social media channels, we do that. Then I will do a review of the match, and then I'll drop that for you by latest, since game is on Friday. I'll record it Friday night, so you should be able to get it by Saturday morning. And then I'll do a preview for the Jordan game on Sunday probably, so you get that by Monday. And then the game is on Tuesday, 3 p.m. UK time. Yes, some people will be at work, 4 p.m. Nigeria time. Actually, I take that back. This Sunday, Nigeria and the UK will end up being on the same timeline. So that means from next week, the game against Jordan, Nigeria and UK time will be the same. So just clarify on that. So look out for those games, and of course do the hot takes before we do a preview to welcome back club football. But I wanted to just give everybody the lowdown of what to expect this week. So no weekend preview because there's nothing to preview apart from Nigeria playing, which is of course the most important thing. I will make sure that we do that. But I want to say a big thank you to all the support and all the community members. Obviously, we'll figure out the right cadence of how we continue to do our shows and finding the balance. I'm on the verge of getting back to full-time employment, so we'll see how that balance works out for me and for the team. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody for all the support. Let's get the community members to talk and round up the podcast. I've been on my feet for 2 hours, so I'm going to be a bit strict on this one and keep it to the next 10 minutes because I want to sit down and have dinner before I pass out from standing and talking too much. But much love, guys. Let me quickly go over a few more comments to make sure I don't miss anything. Emmanuel Aride said, are you seeing what Frank is doing to Frank in the championship? It's a real lesson for me personally. Moves can make or break a player. Uche and Oyeka case study. I see what you mean. Yeah, we have to say that. And the main reason why I can get behind it is a temporary move. We don't want players in championship. People know me, I'm anti-championship. I don't want any player wearing a Super Eagles jersey. See that fine jersey we previewed at the beginning of the episode? You now see somebody playing championship wearing a Super Eagles jersey. It devalues the jersey now. Let's be honest. Can you imagine England, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, or even Netherlands, Portugal calling up a player that plays in the second division? It's not possible, mate. So I need us to get to there, and that's where I come from with that standard. But you're right, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Frank, because if you're Coventry, you've even got a bargain. Left to me, Brentford have undervalued Frank Oyeka as well. So when the summer comes and Oyeka is like, look, can I go to Coventry? Coventry may probably get him at a bargain price. Now, me, I'll be careful if I'm Frank Oyeka because Coventry may go back down. But I do like the look of Frank Lampard being able to take Coventry to the Premier League. I think he's a much better manager when it comes to these kind of clubs. Derby, Coventry. When they gave him the Chelsea job, it's a bit too quick, too soon. But he still even made the Champions League. So I'm quite excited to see what he could potentially do. And Coventry have not been in the Premier League since I started watching football. I know they played in the Premier League in 2001. I know they had Mustafa Hadji. Or was that Bradford? I think it's been early 2000s. Darren Huckabee. It's been a long time anyway. So that'll be interesting to see. But let's see how it shakes out for his career. Shout out to you, Elias. Thank you so much for the kind words. Kilia says, great stream as well, bro. By the way, I was at Spurs and Atletico Madrid's game, even though I'm an Arsenal fan. My brother is somehow a Spurs fan. What a player Lookman is. Thanks so much for that comment, Elias. Elias, good luck for Somalia this weekend. By the way, guys, Somalia will be playing their own pre-AFCON qualifiers against Mauritius. Man, I can't lie, man. Elias, I did tell one Mauritian babe one time like this. There are 5 babes there, man. But just for you, I hope Somalia get the job done over Mauritius. So wishing you well over the weekend. And let us know how the games go as well so that we can praise or give you some support and community, for how Somalia perform. Afriyu said, would you rather Moses Simon or educate Super Eagles team? None. For now, Moses Simon, because obviously he's a senior man in the squad. He has almost 100 caps. But like I've said, this is a player that has refused to progress in his club career. So we need to educate and Moses Simon. Moses Simon, maybe you can give him to the next AFCON, but I think that's even being... Because Eric Shaw does not play with wingers anymore. That's his plan B. And we already know that once he has his 3 of Ndidi, Onyeka, and Iwobi, there's Onyedika, there's Fisaya Delebashiru, there's Tochukwu Nadi, there's Akinso Miro, all to come and play as the backups for the midfielders. Left to me, Lookman's backup can also be Fisaya Delebashiru. I was hoping it would be Sams Uche if he can deliver and become a very fantastic cam. But for now, that is the case. But the truth is, Lookman plays as a left winger. That's his primary position, even under the Simeone team. So we already have probably the best left winger in Africa, in my opinion. Who else is there? Iliman Ndiaye, maybe, but he's not better than Lookman, at least not right now. He's exciting. Who am I missing before they say I'm disrespecting somebody? Diomande. Even Diomande, he's on his way up. He's not better than Lookman right now. So left to me, Ejuke and Simon are trying to be the backups for one position. And Philip Otele has now put himself into the mix. And left to me, if Otele performs, because I really like the way Otele makes the right moves for his career. He left Basel when he should have left Basel. Now he's at Hamburg, he's doing well. He will have the next 6 months to show workings. If he can play well in the friendly games, he will undoubtedly maintain his spot in the squad. And then next year, you don't even know if Hamburg become even better because they had facilities to get better. Or if he even moves up to like a Dortmund or a Leverkusen, you don't know. So left to me, I think Simon had his best spell for Nigeria 4 years ago. That AFCON that Maduka made the mistake. We all know how Simon played in the group stages. But left to me, Moses Simon has not done anything magical in the last 2-3 years. Once in a while, he will come on and he can run up and down. But let's be honest, when last was Moses Simon decisive for Nigeria? But for now, Moses Simon's career for Nigeria is here. Ejuke's career for Nigeria is here. Ejuke scored that 1 goal against Gabon, and we are grateful for him. But Ejuke does not deserve to be in the Nigerian national team. Not based on performances at AFCON, and not based on club performances right now. So I think Ejuke, he has to have a fantastic international window. If not, he's going to drop out. And then Simon or Otele, one of them will figure out who ends up being the backup for Lookman as a left winger. Even if he ends up picking one of the two, take Simon and Otele. Because the way Sani Suleiman is coming, left winger at Leipzig, there's a world where if Sani Suleiman starts playing for Leipzig next season and he's starting and batting up everybody, Sani Suleiman jumps over the queue because he plays for RB Leipzig. So, honestly, that's a great question. Thank you. To be on the tangent. Da Vinci said, what did Da Vinci say now? Without the risk of everyone calling me old, Lord, Seville have fallen off a cliff from the days you go sweat when your team was drawn against them. With people like Kanute bullying teams. Da Vinci, ball. This is exactly what I was referring to. Do you remember when they even had Daniel Alves, Luis Fabiano? Oh my God, Sevilla used to beat everybody, especially Europa League. In fact, they've even had 2 or 3 alterations of their teams following that Luis Fabiano Canute team that still won Europa Leagues. They literally won the Europa League over Man United in like 2021. Was it 2022? But this current version of Sevilla, or this useless version, is the worst they've seen since the year 2000. That one I can sit down with confidence. At least since the year 2004, 2005. When Sergio Ramos first came to Sevilla and moved to Madrid, this is the worst Sevilla ever. Honestly, it's a shame. Afriyu said, Wissa's contract was meant to expire this year for birth. Thank you for this comment, Afriyu. That shows you how stupid Newcastle are. So they spent 55 million on someone that had 1 year left on his contract. Elliot Anderson was sold for peanuts. Thank you very much. Thank you. We must flog their neck. Taiwo said Nantes will still play a playoff game with the League Two team. Taiwo, clarify for me. Now that they've changed the League One rules, is it that only the bottom side, only 18th goes down, and then 17th plays a playoff with the second place side in League Two? Or do the bottom two sides go down, 17th and 18th, and then 16th plays a playoff with League Two's third place team? Thanks for that reminder. Taiwo, you also have amazing ball knowledge, man. I appreciate you always for your comments and for clarifications, because you're right. I remember Hafiz Ibrahim's Rim playing a relegation playoff last year, but unfortunately they lost. So that's why they went back to League Two. So just clarify that for me if you can. Jackson already answered for me. Look, we don't want any of them. Moses should retire. Jackson. I can see Jackson in the background. Good knowledge as usual. Ejike reminds me of Ogbechi. He deceived us the bicycle kicker. We took him to the World Cup. Absolutely spot on, by the way, Jackson. I don't like. So I was talking about Benjamin Frederick. Brentford will need Benjamin Frederick because they are selling Michael Coyote. Yeah. The one thing I want to clarify, I know Benjamin Frederick played right back a few times for Nigeria, but I think guys are forgetting that his first 4 appearances for Nigeria, he played as centre back alongside Bassi and was incredible. I still think Benjamin Frederick is a better centre back than right back, personally. Me. You can say it's undersized, but I know what I watch in my eyes. What I will say, though, is for the Super Eagles, he was exceptional both at right back and at centre back. But the truth is, at right back, we have Olaino, we have Osai Samo, we have Ale Bioshu, we have Samuel Sife at Slavia Prague. And that's minus even the dual nationals like Oyego K and Co that we're not even considering. So left to me, I still tell you, Ajayi starting games for Super Eagles is a blotch on our defense. Zedu Sanusi is about to win the Portuguese title. We can live with that one. Oyemechi will win the Greek title. We can live with that one. Ola I know is playing Europa League quarterfinals. We can live with that one. Osai Samuel, we know he played for Fenerbahce, even though he made such a decision to go back to Birmingham. And we watched him have an amazing AFCON, so we know how good he is. Ale Bioshu is working his career back up after he had to go to the Belgian league and go to Blackburn. And we can see that he's a player that is definitely good enough to play in top 5 league. So we're good there. Samuel Sife, he's already playing so well for Slavia Prague. We're good there. So left to me, a centre back that we need Mr. Frederick, honestly. So let's see what going on that situation. Da Vinci said, I think Frederick got injured after that double shift he put in against Congo. Oh, yeah, that was it now. That was definitely Da Vinci. 4 days later, I was spotted injured. I think Nigeria fans keep sending me love, as we know as our men won't do. Thank you so much. Whenever players get injured playing for a national team, people don't remember what happened, though. All I know missed AFCON because he played in that South Africa useless pitch and snapped his hamstring. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. It's not the third time. Yes, I would like to hope that at a basic level, the NFF carries out insurance policies because they have no choice in when players get injured on international duty. But even that, can we trust the NFF to do that? I'm not sure I can say that with my chest. But guys, please keep sending him love. People will forget Frederick. That's someone will now ask you during AFCON that where's Frederick? You know. Jackson said, what's your pull on Tosin for Chelsea showing interest? Fake news. In fact, you should go away. Because that one, 4 years ago, he was saying us, shout out to Nigeria, my country, when we were even trying to get him. Then he now came to Nigeria last summer, spoke to Nigerian news, Arise, and was telling them we'll see. As if Nigeria is like Somalia. Let me not disrespect Elias's team. As if Nigeria is Gambia, or like Sudan, or even Mali. You are almost 30 years old. You are a backup centre back for Chelsea. You have no chance of ever playing for England, and you want Shakara Nigeria, giant of Africa. I know our NFF are stupid, but please, we have pride. Adebayo, don't ever come near Super Eagles. You enter Nigeria, come and do foundation or do games. They ask you to come out of Nigeria, you're telling us stories on Arise News. We're not the country, please. This is not Ghana that they will go and bring out a presidential carpet for Snodoy and Nketia for them to be telling Ghana no. No, Nigeria, we may be stupid, but we have arrogance, please. So Adebayo, please don't ever near. In fact, let me even get extra Nigerian for everybody. Adebayo, no near Super Eagles, no near us. We don't want you at all. Now come on. It's like I saw one guy, Sami Khedira's brother. He changed his allegiance to Tunisia at the age of 32. What kind of country disrespect is that? Hey God. So please, Adebayo, I don't ever want to see him play for Nigeria, please. You can support us from afar. Don't worry, come and be a fan like all of us. We'll even host you on the show. You can come and talk about how good the team is. The only thing I'll say, thank you guys for this comment, Aaron. Let me get my guests on now, but let me just go through these comments. Aaron, God will bless you. I love your comments so much. You hit the nail on the head. Let me go through Elias first. Elias said, by the way, y'all pray for my country to beat Mauritius this Friday. Gets to the group qualifiers of AFCON. I hope you heard my prayer, Elias. I was confessing that Mauritius have beautiful women. Like the Mauritian women are stunning. But you know, for you, I hope Somalia get the job well, honestly. So let's see how that goes. And then Aaron, I love these comments, and also Taiwo. Taiwo knows his ball. Aaron said, thanks for the stream. Thank you so much. God bless you. Taiwo, thank you for reminding me. Italy did not call up Michael Kayode. I could not believe it. On the 21 squad and main squad, Kayode is not there. Kayode, I know you barely speak good English. Better go and call your daddy or your mommy. Tell them to take you to Lagos. Start talking to NFF. Bro, what kind of disrespect is that? We already know the way Italians feel about black players. You are now the best Italian right back around, and they could not even call you up. I hope it's you that told them, no, Shada, you need time. Because, bro, when somebody shows you who they are, take it at face value. They already show you how they will disrespect you going forward. If you like, don't listen. A word is enough for the wise. Taiwo, one thing to clarify. Honest, Ahano was called up for the Italy under 21 squad. I saw the list. So, Ahano, bye-bye. I told Nigerians, don't worry there. But Kayode, anyway, we already know NFF are incompetent, so I don't trust anything. The only hope we can have is if someone is around Eric Shell to go and talk to Kayode. But honestly, I still don't think having Kayode is the most important thing in the world. Like I said, I know it's there. But Frederick can play there. Alebioshu is there. Osai is there. Don't get me wrong. Kayode starting for Brentford and playing well in the Prem. I get it. And he's young. We should go and get him. He could be Ola Aina's long-term successor. But there's a world where Alebioshu could become that. And my point is, out of all the spots we have in our starting 11, right back is one of the least of my concerns, looking at the depth of our talents. So it is what it is. Ilya said, my Nigerians, you have something in common. There's a half Somali, half Nigerian lad that got his first call up for Somalia. I trust my Nigerian brothers. Tell us what his name is, Elias. If there's any country in the world that there's not a half Nigerian, half something of that country, that means it's not a place you should go to. And it means you should not live there. Just know that. That's all I'll say. But shout out to my people. Taiwo said 16th place team. Okay. So that's the problem, Taiwo. At the moment, Nons are 17th. They need to make sure they're 16th, and they're 5 points behind 16th. So let's see if they can figure it out and get back in. Aaron, please don't mind me. It's nothing deep. I'm not old at all. I'm very young, 33. In fact, my life is just starting. Young, and I'm getting it, man. Shout out to you, Enobong Israel. Let him support us from afar. We good. I'm telling you. I totally agree. Elias said, keep us away from my team. I prefer my two CBs. Law. And that's even Subalia. Taiwo said, I'm keeping tabs on two fantastic and skillful youngsters. Skillful left-footed wingers. Promise Meliga and Zadok Johanna. Taiwo, give me a few more information about the two of them. This is the first I'm hearing about them. Are they eligible for Nigeria? Who they play for at the moment? And Elias just said the Somali Nigerian guy, his name is Jama Mohammed, came to Liverpool and City's academy, but currently in non-league. Hopefully he's back into the football league. Oh, that makes sense. So, you know, Somali, you know, there are a lot of fine Somali women in the UK as well. And I trust my Nigerian men. They will try and sample everything they can sample. So it makes sense to me. So good luck to Somalia. Good luck to Elias. Good luck to your team against Mauritius. May the best team win. I'll keep an eye out on that as well. Okay, guys, let's get Shehu and Jackson to give it a talk, and then let's wrap this up over the next 10 minutes. Afriyu said, can we get Oshula for Super Eagles? If I'm William Oshula, I will wait for Nigeria to come and call me. The truth of the matter is right now, Oshula does not deserve to be called up for Nigeria. We have too many good strikers, but he may end up becoming good enough. But for now, hell no. But let's see how things get on. Okay. Let me get Jackson and Shehu on at the same time so that we can do a quick 5 minutes and go. What's up, Jackson? What's up, Shehu? How you guys doing?
I'm good. Yes,
welcome,
but network is a bit bad. Not today, Shehu. Not today,
He's
Sean.
still
Please,
trying
we are
to
talking
prepare
about
for
Super
the League Cup.
Eagles.
That would be
Let's leave
hilarious.
football to them. Yes,
Let's see.
that seriously.
Okay.
But I knew we are not going to win that. I
Yeah,
knew we
let's
were not
talk.
going
Yeah,
to
let's
win
talk.
that because
Let
Guardiola
me
was
let's
not
talk.
No,
going
Let's
to
I'm ready.
have
Yeah.
I,
that.
Let's
I won't pretend. I did not even entertain losing the game, to be honest. But it
yeah,
is
let's
what it
again.
is.
Let's
I
decide.
wasn't expecting us to win.
Let us try. Let us try now. Let us try.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jackson
yes, yes,
Alpha.
yes.
Jackson
So
Alpha
let's
English.
do Super
My brother.
Eagles. Fine, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Let's decide. Yeah.
So
Let's talk.
for me, at least the NFF did one good. Power has gone. I need to get my. So I'll be
Niger.
back in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Let me. Let's talk. Let's talk about you.
All right, Shil, go ahead.
First.
Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my bro. Hope you had a great weekend. By the way, let me remind you,
No, no,
Chelsea's
no,
result.
no, 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 no. And my weekend was telling you about that one.
Oh, bless you, bro.
But I'm happy. Now I'm talking about the NFF. And this all this players. I think right now, let's go and go Carol now.
I
Carol can
agree.
like left back. Can left back. Like what? The best time at it now. They top him. So maybe they'll call him at the work, but let's call him now. Let's just call him right now and get that player too. Secondly, let's say the position that is one team. Like that's the only thing they do in England. They won the national that is one squad. That's where they get their players from. They do way and for the play for
Exactly.
one force.
Exactly.
No, they're not going to get those get that thing ready for like get that kind of feeling for football. But then you get that the thing from there. All these this young man called young man from Liverpool, they for the 19 team and all that other things. So these guys that play for Marseille too.
Go
Yeah, after
Chukwu.
young guys that play for Marseille too. No, that play after young star.
Nonary.
None of your head. Come over that on that first score. You get with that before us. So according just I like the jersey. It's very good jersey. I love jersey.
Me too.
I get something myself. Yes, but this what they're doing that. I want to have the question. Olu, do you think there's something between NFF and Osimhen? But why not for this friendly match? Do you think anything happen?
It's
Do
an
you think anything
interesting one.
happen?
I don't think so because yes, when I saw the lineup and I didn't see Osimhen, I was like, and this was before the
Because
Liverpool game. When he got
yeah,
injured,
you
obviously now
got
makes
your cash,
sense. But I agree that it's very
but
strange for you to be playing friendlies in Turkey, in Antalya,
God
and
bless
Victor
you.
Osimhen is not in the squad list, but everybody else is there.
So
Like, what is the
I
situation?
would I would
Obviously, now he's
I would
injured.
I would
They've saved
have
him.
I would have clarity. It does not I can't have details about it. Ask him that what on Friday we should talk about something about it on the show on Friday.
Okay.
I asked him this week. I'll make him check and I ask him. I was that thing man. But I guess there's something within there. You understand? Maybe that money issue or stuff. I don't know.
Maybe,
But
maybe.
let's talk about this before that. Let's talk about this other cup final. For me, that's what I see. Saka is forming, no.
He's fumbling
Saka is
big
forming.
time.
Just just like they did to this Chelsea boy, Cooper match. And
Yeah,
that's funny, man. Like what about that? This what about like what's up? This together formed it. On that yesterday, that big game. Imagine after my Madrid in that game, instead of it from that game, Madrid playing more better than Saka this year now. And after message in that game, let's say they
yeah.
look
We missed
better
this
than
year. I agree. I think his
that.
injury was.
That number sport, number 10 way. And also this young man Riga too. But for me, I mean after that game, they give Man City chance to overpower them. Those guys, must have been the two number 10. That is Sheki and
Turkey,
Benassi number
Bernardo,
10. And, and number 10, that play with Semenyo and Doku.
Doku.
Doku, that's the winner. And Semenyo, the win. And
Ah,
surprisingly,
Semeyo play
that,
well.
that, that, oh,
Semeyo, he
the man I
plays
love
so well.
that's this guy. Remember, I believe with the league get improved now. But look at this guy now. Ademola is playing better now. He's defensively playing
I'm
better.
telling you.
That's what Chelsea missing. We play down the top.
Ah, what about the shells? Shell, your connection is going in and out. Just double check. All right, Jackson, take us home.
Yeah, so
Good to see you, Jackson.
I got good to see you. How you doing? Did you go for did you watch the final like
Oh, of
live
course.
or in the stadium or you watched
No,
it?
no, no. I
Yeah.
couldn't get tickets. I watched at home. But my friends came over, so we all
Okay.
watched it together.
Okay. So for me, I'll wrap up with the Arsenal team. So I think I would call Gattuso a racist, but
Oh, Lord.
Gattuso looks like someone that would do all Italian. He would even play a Califiori or this guy for Inter Milan as a right back if it comes to that.
To be fair, though,
Yeah.
there was a few years
Marco,
ago
yes.
where Tottenham wanted to sign Gattuso as their manager. And there was so much backlash because I think he made some homophobic comments before or something like that. So we
So I
already know
feel
about.
remember his statement saying giving Africa 10 slots.
Oh, yeah,
So
you're right.
already,
I said that
so
nonsense.
he said it. So you now look at Ikayode. Ogbonna did not even make it, did not play with the best of best players in Italy, even when he decided to play for Italy. And he couldn't, if you had brought Ogbonna then to Nigerian team, he couldn't have benched Joseph Yobo. There was no way you
No way.
would sit Yobo on the bench.
At
So
all.
some players come up for Nigeria at the right time and at the wrong time. So he can't displace what's his name, Ola, and he can't still make it to the Italian national team because of it. You have to be exceptionally good. Balotelli was that kind of player that you could not turn your eyes away from him.
And even
Balotelli was
his own peak
he had
ended
his
up
bad days.
and his peak ended up being 2 tournaments. Euro 2012
Yes, so
and even the World Cup 2014 where he scored against England and they beat England. Italy crashed out of the group stages and they've not played a World Cup since 2014. So
I think so there are some national teams that you don't look towards. Another one is the German national team. You have to be exceptionally good.
I agree.
I mean, exceptionally good. The French team can manage you.
This is even the worst period of Germany. In the whole history of Germany right now, this is the first time Germany are outside the top 10 world rankings. Like, they have not performed well in a tournament since Euro 2016. I think they lost.
Yeah. And you still want to play them, they still carry the fear factor. They are not looking outside.
They're still Germany. Yeah. It's like, why? That's what upsets me when people say, like, it's like in Africa, people try to downplay Nigeria's pedigree. It's not possible. No matter what, on a good day. But you're right that right now.
Yeah, and I think where these players they get you wrong is from the first go, even if you don't have a Nigerian passport and you claim to be a Nigerian, your FIFA automatically recognizes you as that. But when you try to be civil, try to be on the fence, they don't know where to place you. See the guy from Rangers, or was it? So when you mentioned him, I checked his profile and I saw on his Instagram page, Nigerian. He clearly stated Nigeria. Yes, I checked his IG page, and he was repping Nigeria on his IG page already.
Let me check this.
And you should see players like that. Scotland could have used them if they want to for playoff. So, but let's see what what to take for Kayode, because if he doesn't play in the qualifiers, he will not definitely go to the World Cup, and this is his chance because, like you said, Benjamin is a better center. So Benjamin is good as a center back and as a
He's
right
good
back,
both.
but yeah, but I like his confidence as a center back than as a right back. He might
Me
not be
too.
bulky, he might not be big, but I like his confidence
And
and
we've seen
how
enough
they complement
evidence.
each other. Yes,
And we've
how they
seen enough
complement each other with Basi. Remember Basi too? There was one time I was seeing Basi as a left back, and I loved when he played as a
yeah.
left back. He played it better than the two left back we have right now, because going
But
forward
now
and his crossing. Yes,
but now
Basi
you
as a
can see
left
that
back,
he's definitely a better centre back still.
center back. Yeah, so like players like one, we don't even need them in the 23. Straight to the national team. We are playing in the
Straight.
We are playing the Nations Cup. Come and play. Take the number 10 jersey. You get so, because let's be fair, you said it on this show. Arsenal has another star in the making, and he has outshined Neri already.
And
Even
bro,
right now, they are saying there's another under 14 that is even better than Max Dowman. I saw a
no.
little clip of him, and I'm wondering, what do these kids eat these days? Is this their
No.
real age? So let's be fair. One area has gone down the pecking order
Oh yeah.
already. So he has to forget England and look somewhere else. His name is
And if
already
I
calling
was
for
him,
him.
I would be like Iwobi. Commit early.
Yes.
Let's be sure who
So
you are.
that
Let's see how you can get to
so
100 caps. Don't
yeah.
do
So even
this.
if even if they treat you wrongly at the beginning, like Iwobi said, under 23 they don't treat you well, but he gave it a shot. And look at him. Even when we backlashed him after that Nations Cup where he got the red card, where the people were talking rubbish about him, and then we didn't even know this is his lifestyle. He likes to be very open. He came back stronger and
Expressive.
better.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and I hope what's his name, Okoye will do the same. Come back better and stronger, and
Me
not
too.
let us have our Onana, our Nigerian Onana back in goal. Because I'm
You're right.
scared
I
anytime
love
that guy
that.
is in goal.
No, because you're right. There's a world where Okoye can bounce back and he can hold that jersey for the next 10 years. Somebody has to
Yes,
grab it.
goalkeeper stay
It was
longer.
it was nobody's to lose, but the moment he made a decision to remove himself from playing club football unprovoked, you have to say that he's the one that caused this for himself. But I'm all the way with you. I totally agree, and I believe that as a national
Yeah.
team, these are the moments to have these conversations. September AFCON qualifier comes. In fact, when you're talking to these young boys, there's no way anybody should tell me that missing out on the World Cup is a problem. These guys are so young; they have 3 or 4 World Cups to play.
To
Minus
play.
this
And
2026.
they are guaranteed that they will play the World Cup for Nigeria. There's no cap, there's no
Exactly.
cap
Show
about
them.
it.
I love Aaron said Nwaneri and Rio Ngomoa. Exactly. Imagine you can get those two now. And they can even come and be learning from. Imagine Rio Ngomoa is Lookman's backup.
Understudy of
All of his
Lookman,
study.
understudy of Lookman.
Or Nwaneri. In fact, Nwaneri is Lookman's backup as number 10. And Rio is our main backup as left winger behind
Oh,
Otele or somebody.
uh, uh,
Let them be
yeah.
learning the vibes now. Let them be learning the vibes, seeing what it's like. And then you can
Let
show
them
them a
know.
you will become the pillar
Let
of this
them know
team.
African football.
Exactly.
In as much as if you remember this Dortmund striker, this Nigerian guy for Dortmund, he likes Fufu, he likes this. He wanted to play for
Adeyemi.
Germany. Adeyemi, I look at him right now. Imagine Adeyemi in our national team. The the whole of Africa will be scared when you see Adeyemi on
Even
the ball
him,
because
I'm sure he wishes he did. What happened to him was he got 4 caps for Germany too early. Germany did not
yes,
call him
point,
up for 4 years. Do you know that Jackson, if he had 3 caps instead of 4, he would have switched to Nigeria. But just because
because
he
he
was
wasn't
poor,
still 25. Yeah.
bro, and he was younger than 21 when all those caps happened. So he was very
And he
eligible
could
to
have
play.
switched he could have
But the
switched
problem
allegiance
was
now, just the way the Fiorentina did.
But the problem is just that extra game he played. Now, Germany have started calling him back in, but it's clear that you are not respected. They all of a sudden they've given you 3 or 4 caps in the last 2 years. But bro, you could have been a very big pillar of the Nigeria team. This is why I'm also saying players take the time and assess your situation. Because nobody can look me in the eye and tell me that Tomori right now, Adeyemi right
It's
now,
not
are in
regretting.
better situations than what they should have been in if they play for Nigeria. And we don't even need
Um,
them like this. We can help, but
Yeah, but our greatest challenge. Our press too does not help the Nigerian system out there because they don't
Well,
say good things about Nigeria. So what do these players get to hear? It's just like I'm from Warri now. The first thing they tell you if I go out, if I'm in Lagos, this person is from Warri. They expect me to be a comedian and to make people laugh because they
oh
feel
no, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Can I be honest?
So the,
Can I be honest with you on that one, Jackson?
yeah,
I don't think Nigeria has ever been cooler in the UK than we are right now. Being in the UK right now compared to 16 years ago, then everybody wanted to be Caribbean, Jamaican. And
okay.
right now, Nigeria is the coolest of the coolest. Everybody wants to be Nigerian. What our musicians have done for the way our perception is as a country and energy wise, I don't think we can quantify it for the next 100 years, bro. So, what I do agree with you is the additional things you can do to buttress the points, straight from a football angle. Like I was saying earlier, where's the Yobo documentary? Where's the information about this last AFCON? In fact, where's the AFCON documentary for this last AFCON that just ended? Where are
That
the
we
things
just
you
ended. How the progress?
how do you get people to know what the Super Eagles mean and how well they play and perform? All of us, all
Yes, the
38
classic
people staying in this live
documentary.
stream, all 38 people in this live stream are people that care about the Super Eagles passionately. When you're working in advertising, you learn very quickly about loyal customers, people in consideration, people in awareness stage, and people in conversion stage. The truth of the matter is, Nigeria needs to build enough information that the average Nigerian who likes football but is not crazy about the Super Eagles can still find information easily about our national team. And as of today, that is not the case. Do you think the average Nigerian is aware we even have a friendly match to play on Friday? Let's be
No.
honest. We know. Of course not. But in a normal
Remember
country,
when you spoke about it, you said, "Hope they don't cancel it." I said, except NFF has something to gain. That's why we're playing that. Thing. There's something. That is why we are playing that match. There's something for them to gain. If not,
even if you
the
say,
NFF will know.
I don't even mind the fact they have to play games during the qualifying win, like the international window, and then you figure out, and then you figure it out. Um, you say okay, um, because you still have to play games. Is my point, no matter what. So I can understand you picking Iran and see, even if it's for world ranking reasons and maintaining relevancy. But
Yes,
But in any normal federation, guess what? England, the friendly games that they're about to play this weekend, they've been promoting the tickets for these games for the past 3 months. Do you understand? If you go near Wembley Stadium today, you will see England is scheduled to play blah 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 team. You can see the
we
ticketing
did.
information. Even me, I have an England supporters club account from maybe 15 years ago because one day I went to Wembley and they told me to create an account. So they have the records of everybody that's ever come to watch an England match. They have your email details. They have social media details. They are spamming you with ads. They are hitting you with the ticket links. So it creates a loop of excitement where you even understand what friendly games mean. Do you know how many people going to watch an England game is like a badge of honor? I remember when I first moved back to England, the first time I went to watch England, I went to watch one of their World Cup qualifiers. They beat Bulgaria 4-1. I think Jermaine Defoe scored 2 goals. We were just so happy to be in Wembley because everybody under the world knows what Wembley means. And everybody knows that this is where
Yeah.
England plays. Nigeria,
When
you
the
know that
country, we don't have a national stadium.
they will be carrying people to Akpabio Stadium. Nigeria is the only tier one footballing nation in the world. I always say
That doesn't
this.
have a
Does not have
terrible
one
pitch.
stadium in its most important city. We are the only one. So when we saw
Lagos.
now, look, how the hell is it that of all the places to tell us we should play friendly match is Turkey? Why? Because Turkish governments, maybe they've offered them one kind of incentive. Mind you, we're not even going to Turkey to play Turkey because Turkey have to play World Cup qualifiers. I just don't understand the way their brains work. Go and look at Tunisia, Senegal. Because they were colonized by France, guess what? They play most of their friendly games in France because they can get people to come and watch. Nigeria
Watch.
carried us to come and watch Unity Cup last year in May outside
In
international.
Brentford.
Why could they not work out agreements to get us to play friendly games in England? But guess what? Instead of them to have been preparing the right friendly games from November when we knew that we missed out on the World Cup, they went to go and waste our time telling Nigerians that we have a case against FIFA. And they did not even pay the
FIFA.
procedural fee. So what are we doing? So how on earth would this same country be able to host a good or decent friendly match using their brain cells? Let's not even talk about them selling the rights to TV. Do we even believe this friendly match should be on Super Sports in Nigeria on Friday?
That's the problem.
I cannot say with confidence. So look
But
at this.
who's back there?
As a human. So what the hell are these people doing? What is their job? I don't get it, man. So we just keep praying. We hope the games go well. Eric Shell, you see NFF, they realized that they could not get rid of Eric Shell. So now everybody's quiet again after they leaked his contract.
Again.
Now
Maybe when if he draws one and loses one, they will come up again.
They can't even try it. Left to me until September, there is nothing Eric Shell can do between now and September to lose his job. This man came to Nigeria. Do you know that under Eric Shell's tenure, he's played 3 friendly games and over 10? No, we've won 1. Eric Shell has barely lost any game.
We've not lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eric Shell has not lost a competitive match for Nigeria in 90 minutes. The only games we lost, the only games we've lost competitive games under Eric Shell was penalty shootout, Congo and Morocco. But again, and then we had that draw under Zimbabwe when Chustekong made the mistake.
South Africa.
But that was literally before I even had more than 7 days with the squad. So left to me, there's nothing they can do. If they don't like it, in fact, they can't get rid of him. I think Nigerians routes. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Because we're still living off the slight goodwill. If even they have come performances that is keeping Nigerians sane right now. Because
that's just it. So then hopefully we get 3, we win those games, then we see where we go from there. So one of the greatest challenge we have is, before growing up, I used to hear of Principal's Cup. I don't think it happens in Nigeria anymore. We have lost grassroots football. So it's not, so there's no grassroots football, there's no Principal's Cup where students will come out, because I knew
don't worry,
Osimhen was saying something about how it started.
Don't worry,
how we started.
When I did my research about how a FA with sense is supposed to work, one of the ideas I have in my mind, there's no reason Nigeria should not run almost like the USA when it comes to NCAA tournaments. There are too many secondary schools and clubs in Nigeria for us not to have state championship under 16 level, secondary school or
local government.
We also think of the people that may not be in school, because we know Nigeria. So we'll allow local government to create a squad. If we can find a network where we can run an under 16 tournaments yearly, like you said, Principal's Cup, or we call it Nigeria Youth Cup, and then there's a winner from each state. But we have to also give credence to the fact that there's probably 10 times more good footballers in Lagos than maybe at Taraba. So we'll find you'll find a ranking system whereby maybe some certain countries that are deeply populated may have 3 or 4 representatives, while like Taraba may have 1. And then you find a way to have a national cup, and then the best 22 players from these places, they automatically get trials for the under 16 squad.
Under 17, under 17, yeah.
The there's so many things, but honestly, Jackson, the truth of the matter is, and what even annoys me is, Nigerians are very good thinking people. The problem is the NFF do not want to think; they just want to eat.
They just want to make money and go.
Me and you in 5 minutes have spoken about something. Yes, I understand speaking and executing is a different ball game.
Yeah, but at least it's in we have it there in the mind.
I've executed a podcast for 6 years. You can find things out. If you do not at least try, you don't go anywhere. So you are at least try and then go from there. So honestly, bro, let's see how the game goes on Friday. I hope everybody will still watch and see how it goes. Let me get Shell back for the last 2 minutes so we can end. I really need us to wrap up.
Lastly, for my Arsenal thought, I think Teta lost it with the lineup for the goalkeeper. I was thinking Raya was going to start, but all the same.
And to be fair, I like your honesty on that one, because I think you were very clear about just play your best team. Let's see how we get on.
Just play your best. So I think he wanted to just give him that respect, but he did not owe him any explanation, because I knew in the semi-final or quarter-final he made an error that almost cost us. Yeah. So
and it's just annoying because before that error it was 0-0. Even if we ended up losing the game, we'll never know. But
we had we had 2 great chances that Saka and Havertz did not take. the early hours of the game.
Saka, he needs to spend these 2 weeks looking at himself in the mirror, man. Like he needs to
He's
really
missing his colleague. He's missing Havertz. That's just it. He's missing what's his name? Other guy.
Odegaard.
Yes, the two of them. I think they've grown a telepathic
So if there's no Odegaard or no
understanding.
Smith Rowe, he will not perform.
The two of them can't play without each other right now. Even remember when Odegaard came back last season and Saka got injured, it was like, what's going on? So, but hopefully for England, he will just pick. You don't support the England team, but we're opposite. I support them because of, in quotes, my Arsenal allegiance to them. So once I have so exclusive of my Dutch team, which I always like to watch. Yeah, I like the way they play football. Yeah, but notwithstanding. Oh, is Sheung still on or he has gone off?
Yeah, let me get Sheung on and then we'll literally do 2 minutes. But before I get Sheung on, while I get Sheung on, just give me 1 minute. Sheung, back in the building. Welcome back, bro. Just a few comments to end so that I can let you guys to have the final 2 minutes and we go. Aaron said, Nwaneri and Rio, that would be so great. I totally agree, my brother. Taiwo said, being in Nigeria is a flex abroad now among the youths. We just have useless and failed leaders. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for buttressing my point. I'm sure Taiwo lives in Dublin. I know you've said you're in Dublin as well. So go and look at Ireland's on that 21 team, guys. You just see Omobami Dele, Chinasa everywhere. It's Nigerian names that are full everywhere, you know. And Aaron said it sounds like England has really found a way to unite its fans under football. Aaron, I think that's Capo. It may seem like that, but I know England. England at the time threw Bellingham under the bus, and they not call up Trent Alexander-Arnold. In fact, I am so sure the first time Saka does not play well for England, there will be an agenda to get rid of him. I'm not sure the whole of England has united under football like you may think, especially when it comes to the way they give people some benefits versus others. You know, it's a very annoying peeve, but interesting. I do hope we are able to unite under our football, though, and then take it from there. I think
that's the only thing that unites Nigeria together, football.
Oh, yeah. I say it all the time. In fact, that's why I said we have to be like Morocco. It needs to be a national strategy. When you forget all these Morocco things, I know we haven't done a live stream since they tried to draw their way through and Castle turn it back. But one thing we must respect them is when you see a strategy in execution and
they
action.
know how to play their game. They know how to play it. They play also, that nation squad strategy. Yeah.
I'm begging you. I hope you can go tomorrow. When you see the way they've prepared their country for football, stadiums, training, adverts everywhere. Every single billboard I saw was a Moroccan player promoting some kind of product. And it wasn't just Hakimi. It wasn't just Hakimi. Everybody. I mean, Diazo, Unai, everybody. Everywhere you go in Morocco, you can feel the AFCON is going. Every time I went to the train station, there are giant blown up replicas of the AFCON trophy. Everywhere you went, they wanted you to know that as long as you're in this country, you know what's going on right now.
Let me shock you, Shimo. Do you know in Lagos, the commercial city of Nigeria, you can't place a grade B match in any of the stadium. In the only stadium that looks like a conference. I know. Teslim, terrible.
In fact, the only one that is even manageable, and the only reason I even know that is Onikon, because my dad is a civil engineer, so one of his companies was asked to help with Onikon. If you heard the kind of things my daddy told me about the struggle to even just complete Onikon Stadium, that's why
is it still complete? It's not still complete.
I think they freed it now.
There are some parts that they have never finished building.
That's the point, because when you're trying to complete things, there's enough people that are not see it being fixed. So what the hell can we do? You know, we're just feeling our thumbs. Bro, if you told anybody that watches football and they're not African that the most populous black city in the entire world, Lagos, the hub of where all this football loving happens, the home of where Nigeria won the first AFCON, if you told them that there's not one stadium that can host a FIFA friendly, they will tell you that
they will not believe.
They will not believe. But guess what?
Because Amaju will go and paint something else for them.
And
outside.
My biggest fear with Nigeria is they frustrated the citizens so much that we just learned to just live with apathy.
What they give to us,
Like
we'll manage it like that.
what's the point of this? Like, what's the point? Like, we cannot close the podcast now and say we're wasting our time, that we're just talking into thin air. But the point is, media does a job that a lot of things may not be able to do. But the truth is, I hope we do not get to a point where people just give up and become so docile and just assume that things will never change, because I think that would be very, very sad. But it is what it is, man. And hopefully one day. Okay, I'm getting Shehu on. Now I can see him again. Last 1 minute. Guys, we have to end this podcast. I've been standing for almost 3 hours. Out of love for you.
Shehu, bad network.
Shehu, we can hear you now. Hallelujah.
I'll just fast. Anyway, anything they do better than me. Get a good on the first squad for Nigeria. Not better because all these young boys, all these Ogumwai, Ikamani can play for that youth team. Before get to strike, without what they are doing. Look at the guys that play for Inter Milan now. The Boyan guy, the French boy and boy, I want to play for Ghana. That boy that play for Inter Milan, the striker. There are no guys that play for you too. While you want to play for Cote d'Ivoire, so good on get good on the first squad and good on and better for them. And it's just get us a better freedom in Lagos. Lagos, that's more important. When I'm going to Martin like that playing Nigeria. I watch them playing national team Nigeria. I watch them for TV.
Same.
Get better to get Algeria.
Same.
Get them play for get them. Let's get permanent for Nigeria. Not they go to you today, just tomorrow. That's come up with. I want to. I saw France team. Having that camp today. That's the same day. That's the super dance figure inside the hotel. Changing their jerseys and their lunch. That's a big thing. You know, that's a big thing. Do.
Standard.
This one should go. So you go. So you standard team. I want Morocco too. They do the same thing. So to do Jackson.
Yes, I can hear you.
He's very, very afraid of Guardiola.
See,
Your coach is afraid of Guardiola today. He's afraid of Guardiola. He was afraid yesterday. That's why he was defensive. That's why he lost that game yesterday. But all the story, Saka play rubbish. Yeah, this guy play rubbish. Yeah, I'm not form. That is you are lost that part. Never said that contract that be contract. I'm lost form. You need to watch it.
Don't bring contract into this discussion. It's not money.
Why?
Jackson, to be fair to Shehu, every time a player has earned £300,000 a week,
they play rubbish.
So I'm hoping Saka can break the curse. Because, bro, this is the third time. Now, one thing, Shehu, while we still have you here, Shehu, will Chelsea make the Champions League? And you know your next game is against City. Are you going to win?
I don't know.
You don't know. You're not sure.
Under this man, I don't know. Under this man, the boys have lost faith on him. The boys don't play for him anymore. They don't trust him anymore. They don't trust. The boys don't trust him. That's the fact. Go and watch the man they're playing. They just play, but the man no number football. No.
Sorry. Can I comment?
Go ahead, Jackson.
Can I say something? So, Sean, all the Chelsea fans, all the Man U fans, I think everybody should write a letter of apology to Arsene Wenger and apologize to him when he was saying fourth spot was like a trophy. Now you people are looking for that.
No.
So there are a lot of things that when Wenger first of all said we should bring in video replay, the number of times he was abused in the Premier League. Now they are going to his offside rule that he suggested. They want to use it in the World Cup. And you guys are saying he's a bad tactician. So let us give him his flowers. That's one thing we should give to Arsene Wenger. We should give him his flowers. Yes. Then when we're struggling for fourth position, they were always abusing Arsenal. Now this is the fourth position that it is now from big four to big six. People have turned into big six.
Look at what you said. Shell, Afriyu said there is more chance that Everton makes the Champions League than Chelsea.
See, let me do something. See, if they give this kind of players to tell you, this thing will have Champions League. It's man, you know that time of football. It's not a 12 point. He did that thing, that was any motivation. Look at that. Look at what the guy doing. Ateta. This team as fresh. Starting team as fresh. Ateta has done the English for the not kind of English coaches. That's dumb score. That's dumb score. That's bad. Look at you. They are lost 7-3. Then all the they don't have better coaches. That's the fact. They don't know football. I'm sorry to say that. That's the fact. That's the bottom point.
I get your point. I get your point. They are not tactically sound.
Well, one thing I'll
Yes.
say, Shehu, we wish you well. We need you to do us.
Thank you.
If you help us or not, it shouldn't matter. But
Just draw
My
the
brother.
game. Thank you. Good night. We need a draw from
My
you
brother,
guys. Good night.
okay, guys, wait, let me end it properly. Wait, Shehu, give me your final remarks, and then Jackson, you give me your final remarks, and then we end the podcast. All right. Shehu,
about
go
what?
ahead.
About everything today, Abi.
Whatever you want, yeah, whatever you want. So how do you want to wrap up?
Okay. First of all, I want to say one or two man football. Only Canada Cup. They don't like leaving next season. I don't know what's coming back. For Chelsea, let's not them. For the FA, Nigeria Federation, please, we didn't school that they brought down for. I want to start this develop on Friday against Iran and anybody. Mom blessing.
So okay, stay on. All right, Jackson, give me your end comments, and then I'll end, and then we'll.
So my final remark is congratulations to Man City, congratulations to Arsenal. We have won the league. We're just waiting to sign up and get our name on the trophy. And I feel I feel when we had government interference in football, our authorities for the NFF they were sitting up because they could be sacked at any time. But right now, FIFA has said election,
Yes.
so election is making everybody misbehave.
I'm
So I
telling
think
you.
we need to wake up and find a way around it. Yes, so that's my final say.
Thank you so much, guys.
One thing,
Shehu, do you want to say one more thing?
only one second. The Nigerian NFF election is in Latvia on 20th of September. That's some time of Buso who does that. Talk about that one too.
Wait, Shehu, did you just say
NFF
the
election
NFF
is in
election
Latvia.
is taking place in Latvia, not
It's in
Nigeria?
Latvia. It's Latvia. Latvia in Nigeria. Latvia in Nigeria.
Oh, Latvia
Not out of Nigeria.
Lafia,
oh,
Northern Lafia, Zamfara, Lafia,
you
yeah.
know, like Nasarawa, Latvia.
Yes,
Let me
Nasarawa,
do
the northern part of Nigeria.
Wow.
So he's going to win the election. So he's not going to lose.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. Talk
Bro,
about that one.
thank you for that one. We'll keep highlighting these things. In fact, don't worry, guys. We'll work on something on this because we must continue.
Let's see how Wednesday looks like. Hopefully
Exactly.
the live. Hopefully when. So hope you come online on Wednesday.
I plan to.
They
In
give
fact,
channel.
we'll do it
Tell
much
you now.
earlier.
Tell you.
In fact, we're gonna do the
only the
members.
boss. Only the boss.
We'll do it at
Yes, so
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Yes,
UK time.
8 o'clock Nigerian time. I think we're on the same time now. That 8
No,
o'clock, there's 8 o'clock Nigerian time.
What's the
No,
time
if
now?
you say 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock Nigerian time.
Please,
10:55.
Oh no! It's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
next,
seven,
till
yeah.
next week. For this week, you are still 1 hour ahead of us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
please,
But you
just
said
let me-
so you came. Okay, so what time did you start your live streaming today?
today I
8
started
p.m.
it at
8 p.m. Nigerian time.
Nigeria time. I did it 7 p.m.
No, your time over there.
Yeah.
The time you started
7 p.m. my time.
7.
7 p.m.
Oh, 7 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
But the only reason I can't do 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, I have an appointment with a doctor at 6, so I need to be careful. So we'll do it 8 p.m. UK time and 9 p.m. And then from next week, we're all on the same time zone. So
But you get a seat You get a seat on Wednesday. Please get a seat on Wednesday.
I always sit down for that one now.
Yes, please get a seat.
Anyway, guys, that's it. If you want to join the members only streams, you're welcome to join. It's a much more less curated space to just talk about football and just gist, and I get everybody on to give their thoughts. But I want to say a big thank you to Jackson and Shehu again. Thank you guys for all the support. and come to give us your takes. Much appreciated. Much love. Thank you guys so much. Everybody listening, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Please remember to like this video if you haven't. Please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I want to just say a big thank you to everybody and for all the love. It means the world. Like I said, we're on the road to 20K subscribers. Help us out today. It'll be amazing. Sorry if it was a bit too long. I know some of you don't like when it's super long, but I think it's been a very engaging and brilliant discussion with the community. So thank you guys so much for taking your time. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to give me your time, and that means the world to me. So thank you so much. Shout out to you, Olive Dikeocha. Shout out to Afriyu. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Taiwo. Shout out to Shion. Shout out to everybody that joined the chats. Elias, everybody who gave me their time. Charles, everybody that had anything to say. I just want to say a big thank you. Da Vinci, Jackson, everybody, God bless you all. Emmanuel Arinde, God bless you. Aaron, FBV Zone, everybody who took the time. It means the world. Chukwemeka Uguege. Hey, Chukwemeka Ugu. Hey, Olu, don't butcher people's names. Thank you very, very much. God bless you all. I'll see you guys on the next episode. As I said, remember, look out for the live preview. I mean, not live, but the preview of the Iran game. And please look out for the live watch along on Friday. If you could bless us with your time, that would be amazing. Super Eagles Ball is all we're going to be talking about for the next few days. But remember, we'll have the members only live stream on 8 p.m. So if you join us as a member, you get access to that. And then I've also created a Discord for everybody. So thank you. It's been enjoyable. Let me go and rest and watch some TV and take it easy. But have a wonderful rest of the week. Happy Monday. Enjoy the football. If you are a Dora National, enjoy other countries' games. Enjoy the Super Eagles games. The road to the World Cup is coming with or without Nigeria. Hopefully, they'll fix up. But look, enjoy everything. Make sure you get the dopamine fixes and joy in every way and any way you can, guys. Much love, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. Peace out. Take care, and ciao, ciao.